Hello everyone, it's hard to believe it's week one of the Ohio High School Athletic Association varsity football season, but here we are. ICRC-TV Sports is pleased to present another season of Friday Night Football. We're going to get things started this year with Mariemont and Oakwood from Kusel Stadium here in Mariemont. I'm Glenn Olson, this is Chris Asbrock. Jason Dudley has another crew on hand to bring you all the action tonight in this season opener for both teams. Chris, these teams are familiar foes. They've been meeting every year for quite a while. They've been pretty evenly matched contests. What can you tell us about the series?
Well, you're spot on, Glenn. Actually, in fact, both these schools they can be sister schools. Similar demographics, academics. You mentioned the rivalry. These teams have been playing since 2013. Oakwood won the first meeting 24-17. Then Mariemont since then has won the last three meetings, so
right.
Setting up an interesting matchup tonight. So
yeah, and talking with Coach Commons today via email, he told us that he knows Oakwood is going to come in and be ready to try to get a win back in this series. As you said, who've not had a win since 2013. So back then the teams played. Oakwood won that first game 24-17.
Correct, yep. As
you said. And last year, just a particularly memorable episode in this rivalry.
It was a great game last year. Oakwood was up 24, or they were up by 7, I should say. Yep. Mariemont drove down the field and was able, Wally Renee scored on a 13-yard touchdown run, setting up an interesting decision. Tie it or go for the win. Love the coach's decision, and they went for 2, got the win, escaping Oakwood, with a nice 30-29 victory. So, a lot of memories for both schools here. So Oakwood's they're gonna come out with a little extra fire. I think.
Yeah, they're gonna come out with a chip on their shoulder. That's for sure, Chris. It was a phenomenal ending, one of the best endings of the season, I'm sure. Looking to tonight, I don't think it's a stretch to say that we're gonna have a good game with 2 very experienced rosters, at least on paper.
That's very true. Both teams they're loaded with experienced talent, like you had mentioned. First for Mariemont, 7 seniors are going to start with 2 juniors who've played significant time for Mariemont so far. Leading the way is quarterback Wally Rennie, second-year starter. He's just a junior. Yeah. So, again, that experience right there is going to add a lot. One thing I like about him is he dual threat. I mean, he can sling it and run it. So that's the beauty of the quarterback position there. He only attempted 171 passes last year, and he carried it 89 times. So that's, it adds a different dynamic for the Mariemont offense.
Yeah, it sure does. And Rennie was just 12 yards shy of being the leading rusher on this team last year. So you never know when he takes that snap if he's going to roll out and fling the ball down the field or if he's going to run with it. So, big shoes to fill. Taking over for Joey Cromer last year. He was just a sophomore, got the starting nod at quarterback, and now he's back for his junior campaign. He's going to be given the CHL fits for a long time, being just a junior. So he's not the only experienced player in this offense. Alec Vianello is back for the Warriors as well.
Vianello carried it 103 times last year for 558 yards. That's an average of 5.4 yards per carry. He had 7 rushing touchdowns as well in the season. He also added the little extra, threat out of the backfield, catching the ball. He caught it 7 times for 145 yards. So that's another weapon that Wally Rennie actually has coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, the Lumberjacks are definitely going to have to keep an eye on Vianello all night. And speaking of the Lumberjacks, they're pretty loaded in their own right, Chris.
That's right. You can see them warming up behind us here. They feature 9 seniors on offense, 2 juniors. So, again, another experienced roster like we had touched on earlier. Defensively, it's the same situation there. 9 seniors, 2 juniors. So, on both sides of the ball, very experienced club.
Yeah, so Coach Butch Snyder, the head coach of the Lumberjacks, made an interesting decision last year. About halfway through the year, they scrapped the triple option offense and went to more of a spread attack and started putting up just some gaudy numbers after that.
Sometimes that's all you need to do. It's kind of you throw a little extra wrinkle in there and you change things up. Sometimes it can add a lot. It started in week 5 against Middletown Madison. Quarterback Brian Irby started throwing the ball. He put up 378 yards in that first game. That's with the spread. So again, that changes a lot. And before that, he had not broken 100 yards passing in any of the first 4 games. Yeah. So sometimes that's all you need is to change that, and that's exactly what Oakwood did.
Yeah, it's definitely a potent offensive attack, and Coach Cummins definitely expecting the Lumberjacks to throw the ball down the field.
They will. Yeah, that's with that spread offense, that's what happens.
Yeah, definitely expecting 20 to 25 pass attempts at a minimum tonight. And as we've talked about, they're hungry to get the dub in this series. They haven't had one since 2013. So.
And again, last year, that little bit of bitter taste right there, it's going to add a little extra motivation for Oakwood here going into this match.
Yep, so two experienced teams, lots of offensive firepower. I think it's safe to say we're going to see some fireworks tonight. So the scene is set, the players are on the field warming up. Chris and I are going to head upstairs, and we'll have the opening kickoff for you in just a moment.
Reed airs it out, and it is intercepted again.
He's up off the field. He's got it in wide open down the left sideline. He gets the edge. He stiff arms a couple of tacklers. Look at this. What a hit. That is a great play. He's got a receiver. He's got it deep. Oh, what an interception. Wow. More. He's got an opening.
Got past the second level. One man to beat.
Welcome again to Friday Night Football, presented by ICRC-TV Sports. Glenn Olson, Chris Asbrock here in the booth with me. Jason Dudley's in the truck calling all the shots tonight. Chris, we talked about it in the pregame, but we can't emphasize it enough how similar these two teams are heading into week one tonight.
That's very true, Glenn. These two teams, like we did mention in the pregame, are very, very similar in a lot of different aspects. So now it's just really going to come down to which team can execute more going into week two now.
Yeah, we talked about the similarity between the two communities and the two schools. It's been a one-sided series after Oakwood won week one. Mariemont's won every game since, including a heartbreaking loss for the Lumberjacks last year. So we have triple zeros on the clock. 12 minutes now appears, and we're all set to kick off. Cameron Hollander will be kicking off for the Warriors. He had to sit out last year due to injury, but is a senior and a four-year member of this program. Back to receive is Dylan Complete and Sam Delator for the Lumberjacks, and week one is underway with a touchback. That kick is going to be fielded about 7 yards deep into the end zone, Chris.
That's a great way to start it off. I mean, you put it every bit 7-8 yards deep. Really pin them back, get it going.
So Lumberjacks will start the 2017 campaign from week one. Oakwood is from up in the Dayton area. In case you're not familiar, they're a member of the Southern Buckeye League and the Southwestern Conference. Last year they were 2-4 in the league and 2-8 overall. As far as playoff competition, they are a member of Division 4, Region 16. Mariemont, of course, in Division 5. So just about set for the first offensive series of the 2017 campaign. Brian Irby, senior quarterback, set to get things started for the Jacks. He wears jersey number 12. He's a senior. Got three receivers split to the top, one to the bottom. As we mentioned in the pregame, they do feature a spread attack, and there's a quick pass out to the right side. It is complete to number 17, Connor Dinkler. He'll pick up a few yards.
Yeah, it was a great job to hold them really to relatively short yardage on that first play.
So Coach Cummins expecting the Jacks to throw up 20 to 25 passes tonight, one right out of the gate. Gain of right around 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5. Three receivers to the bottom, one to the top now. Back to pass again. Good protection, but he's hit from behind. It's going to be recovered, but barely lost. But finally, number 3, Josh Amongero, falls on the ball for the Jacks. So good protection, broke down quickly, and all of a sudden the Jacks are in a hole.
Yeah, that was a great play by Marshawn Curtis coming around on the end there. He was able to knock it out of his hand, and that set him back. Good amount there. Very tough hole to dig out of now on third down.
Yeah, so that's going to be third in the county line at this point. Marshawn Curtis, a senior, been a very productive member of this program. There's a long pass, and the receiver can't quite track it down over his shoulder. Was intended over on the right side for Connor Dinkler again. So not a good offensive start for the Jacks.
Yeah, that was a tough play there for Connor Dinkler too. I mean, he was turned all around here, as you can see here on the replay. I mean, Brian Irby, he does a good job of getting the ball out there, but I mean, he had Dinkler, so he had him turned around. There was really no shot there, and now Mariemont's in a great position now on this 4th and 22 play.
A lot of timing and rhythm in this Oakwood passing game, Chris. It's going to be required. You've seen with these quick passes, and Mariemont's done a good job of disrupting that so far. It's an end-over-end kick. It's going to take a bounce in favor of the Jacks out to midfield, and cross into midfield. We'll be down at the 49-yard line. So it's a high kick, kind of wobbly, but took a lumberjack bounce, and Mariemont will get the 2017 campaign on offense underway from just about their own 48-yard line. Pretty good field position for Mariemont.
Yeah, that worked out there. Jake Sargent, the punter, the junior punter for Oakwood, did a really good job. Lucked into a good bounce there, obviously, for Oakwood. That thing landed about the 35-yard line. They took a really good bounce for Oakwood.
There's a good shot on your screen of the quarterback, number 9, Wally Rennie. He is a junior, getting the nod for the 2nd year in a row. He started as a sophomore last year, replacing Joey Cromer, who had graduated. A little bit of a high snap, quick bubble screen out to the right side is complete. It's going to go for a gain of just about 7 yards out to Brady Holliday, one of the seniors in this program.
And Holliday's coming up a little wobbly there. As he's jogging back towards the. He's going to stay in. He's going to tough this one out. But that was a great play though to get a good 6 yards on that play, breaking a tackle and advancing it over past midfield.
2 receivers to the top as Holliday goes into the backfield now. Rennie calls for the snap. Here comes the blitz. He's able to get it off. Pass is complete across the middle for the first down. So nice poise by Rennie to hang in there and fire that off in spite of the blitzer in his face, Chris.
Yeah, Charlie Coward did a really good job here. Look as he's coming across the middle. Makes a great catch. It was a little high throw, and he was able to catch it, bring it down, and absorb the hit. First down, Mariemont.
Moving the chains is what a football coach likes to see. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line of Oakwood. Mariemont, of course, in blue jerseys and pants with the yellow helmets. That's going to be broken up in the backfield, and there's a familiar number again, Karsten King for the Jacks. He's been all over the field tonight, Chris.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of making plays, making things happen for Oakwood so far.
So there you see a handoff, and the play was blown up right away. Handoff was going to number 10, Alec Vianello, who we talked about in the pregame. Loss of 5 on the play, 2nd and 15. So after a good strides forward, Warriors temporarily march backwards. See what they can come up with here on 2nd and long. Rennie's going to roll out to his left side, fires a laser, and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Daniel Casella. Rennie very, very speedy rolling out on both sides, Chris.
Yeah, that's a tough play to make too for Rennie. He's coming across there. He's throwing across his body. That's a tough throw. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. Just unfortunately, it's a little too far for Daniel Casella, who put himself in a pretty good position right there by the sidelines.
We expected to see Rennie run the ball a lot tonight, and really hasn't materialized as of yet. Maybe a wrinkle Coach Cummins threw in the playbook for these familiar foes. Rennie takes the snap, good protection, rolls out to his right. Here comes some pressure. He's going to step up away from it and be drug out of bounds just inside the 45-yard line. So good coverage in the secondary by the Lumberjacks. Rennie didn't have a target to throw to.
Yeah, that's a good coverage sack right there. He forced him to run and roll out. And he had no play. Tried to make a little bit of a play there with his legs, but unfortunately, it was wrapped up pretty quick.
Now 4th and 17. We'll bring on the punter for the Warriors, and that's Cameron Hollander also. Again, talked about him a few minutes ago in the opening kickoff.
One thing that's amazing, Glenn, is you can see how one negative play can really snowball on an offensive series like that.
Dylan Capletti back deep. That one got off just in time. Capletti's going to field it around the 5 and gets tripped up by the turf monster. He'll go down at the 10-yard line.
Well, all he had to do was make one guy miss there, and if he had a really good lane. You can see a lot of green in front of him. Turf monster wins again.
You know, so many schools have gone to these artificial surfaces now, and it adds a 12th defender out on the field sometimes. The old turf monster.
That it does. It's wicked. Get you every time.
For sure. So a little bit of a hole now for the Jacks to try to dig out of. 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. See if they decide to change things up any differently here on their second offensive series. Glenn Olson and Chris Asbrock with you from Kusel Stadium in Mariemont, Ohio. Handoff up the middle goes absolutely nowhere. Pack of Warriors there to bring down the ball carrier. Number 3, Josh Amongaro.
It was Marquand Curtis on that play there who just blew up the middle of the Oakwood offensive line.
Real high praise from Marquand from his coach. Told us via email today that one of the more talented players on this team despite only being a sophomore. Be another handoff up the middle, and the hole just cannot materialize for the Lumberjacks. They're trying to keep Mariemont off balance, but the holes just aren't being opened up by this offensive line.
Well, you can tell, I was just getting ready to mention to you, Glenn, you can see up front here that Mariemont is really making some plays up front, making it very, very hard for this Oakwood offensive line to even get anything established right now.
So a gain of 2, but not enough. 3rd and 8, deep in their own territory. It's going to be a rollout pass to the right. Tries to cut back across the field, but the Mariemont defense able to keep up with Brian Irby. So it's going to be another punt situation for the Lumberjacks. Coach Butch Schneider cannot be happy with what his offense has displayed thus far.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding so far for Oakwood. You know, unfortunately, they just haven't been able to get anything going, like I said, with the defensive front that Mariemont's, you know, they're getting all the pressure here. And here's a chance now for Mariemont to really, you know, kind of keep them pinned in here deep in their own zone.
4 seniors and 1 junior on the offensive line projected as starters for the Lumberjacks, and just not able to get the protection done tonight. Nearly a high snap. That's going to be a high punt. It's going to land around the 45 and take another Lumberjack bounce over into Warriors territory. They'll back away from it. The ball will be down at the 42-yard line. So good field position once again for Mariemont.
Yeah, Jake Sargent with another beneficial bounce for him. Again, being able to flip the field position as the punt landed inside, you know, on their own end of the 50. Was able to bounce across, and again, now Mariemont, again, is going to start. It's twice they had a chance to start on the other side of the 50 on the offensive side, but they see if they can get it something else, you know, manufactured here.
Not a bad strategy as long as you can keep that ball to keep bouncing the other way, right? And that's a skill in and of itself.
It works. I mean, if you can get it to work, it's something you definitely want to keep rolling with.
1st and 10 for the Warriors. They come out and get into their offensive formation. The ball spotted at their own 42-yard line. 6:22 remaining in the opening quarter from Kusel Stadium. ICRC-TV Sports Friday Night Football Week 1 action. And he takes the snap. It's going to be a quick handoff going to the right side to Vianello. Not a whole lot of room there. So the Mariemont offensive line not doing a bang-up job either of getting anything open for their running game.
No, if you watch, look at the defensive, the front here by Oakwood. They're doing a great job of lateral pursuit there, and he did a great job of keeping Vianello from being able to cut it up, and again held him to no yards.
9 seniors, 2 juniors, so a lot of experience on this Lumberjacks defense. Rennie? Going to be a screen over to his left side and overshot his intended receiver, Daniel Casella. Casella just 3 passes last year, but went for 74 yards. That's nearly 25 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. So we know he's got the ability, just got to get it in his hands.
Yeah, unfortunately, the timing, obviously, this is kind of what you get here week 1. You're still trying to work out some kinks. You can just tell, like, on both sides, the offenses are just they're not clicking right now.
You know, there's so much that happens now with 7-on-7 and workouts and things, but nothing can simulate live game reps 11-on-11.
Exactly.
Rennie, all kinds of time. Offensive line does his job that time. Long pass, lets it fly, and nearly completes down the left sideline. That was the right play call at the right time. Just receiver couldn't haul the ball in, and good coverage down there.
Yeah, Charlie Cowart looked like he had a step there for a second. It was a great defensive play. I couldn't see who made the play for Oakwood there, but was able to get the fingertip on it to knock it away, because that could have been a huge play on third down, on 3rd and 9 for Mariemont. Unfortunately, now it brings up a punting situation.
Well, true to our announcer's jinx history, we predicted offensive fireworks, and so far it's been a punt fest.
Well, so Glenn, we're good at that.
6:05, halfway through the opening quarter. Mariemont set the punt again from their own 43-yard line. Low snap, not much of a rush by the Lumberjacks. Wobbly kicks going to be fielded at the 24-yard line. Plenty of room, and there's plenty of green ahead for the Lumberjacks, number 11, Dylan Capletti. So a great return by Dylan Capletti. Maybe that'll give the Lumberjacks the spark they've been lacking thus far.
That's the firepower he can bring. If you give him some room, he can make a play. And that's what, when the Turf Monster got him on that first punt, that's what he had, about the same amount of green ahead of him as he did on this one. So that was a great job of minimizing the damage there.
Yeah,
because it could have been a lot worse.
And I believe that was Hollander that twisted him out of bounds. I mean, there was really no Mariemont coverage down the sideline. He had nothing but green ahead of him. Had Hollander not been there, he made a couple guys miss early who were closer to the middle of the field. But back to live action, that's going to be a sack as Irby tries to roll out to his right side, and he's going to be brought down. Man, this Mariemont defense is playing lights out tonight, Chris.
Yeah, again, Marshawn Curtis makes a great play. Huge play there. He just flat out beats his man. And again, now you get a 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20 situation on another sack. Again, Mariemont's defensive front four are wreaking havoc on Oakwood right now.
16 solo tackles, 52 assists last year. Do the math, that's 68 total tackles he had a hand in on. He's everywhere. Bubble screen out to the right side is caught. Ball will move slightly into Mariemont territory. Pass is complete. Will be spotted at the 49-yard line of the Warriors as we tick toward 5 minutes.
I'm impressed with this defensive speed that we've seen so far from Mariemont. Again, look at Curtis. He's making he's putting pressure on Brian Irby in the backfield, forcing him to release that probably a little sooner than what he wanted. And again, Mariemont puts themselves in a great spot defensively on this 3rd and long.
Pass was complete to Connor Dinkler. 3rd and 19, another long pass. Good coverage by the Warriors, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver for the Lumberjacks, Connor Dinkler. So they're dialing up the right play calls. They just have to execute, Chris.
They are. Daniel Casella with another great play there.
So after a promising start, another punt. So if you're a special teams fan, this is the game for you.
This is definitely the game for you if you really enjoyed punting.
I know you're no fan of the Buckeyes, but Coach Tressel always said the punt was the most important play in the game. We'll see who can break one tonight.
I thought we wouldn't bring up the Buckeyes here tonight.
I had to work it in somehow.
I got to give you credit for it.
High punt. We'll see what kind of bounce this takes. It's not going to be fielded. It's going to take another Jacks bounce inside the 20, down to the 15, and just inside the 15-yard line. So the run of luck or skill, however you want to look at it, for Jake Sargent continues, getting those punts to get an extra 10 or 15 yards for the Lumberjacks on defense.
And now this is a long field here. Now you got to go 86 yards for Mariemont. This is something that they couldn't get it going, just outside the 50. Now you got to give an extra 30 or so yards. You have to go. It's going to be interesting to see what the play calling is going to look like. If they're going to continue what they were going with before, or if they're going to make any adjustments. They got to get something going here. You got to sustain a little bit of a drive because both defenses have really dominated so far.
Well, it's the worst field position of the night for the Warriors. They're going to start this drive on their own 14-yard line. Clock is stopped at 4:22. Running down in the shadow of the Warriors' own end zone to get this offensive drive started. And a timeout. Down on the field.
Timeout, Mariemont.
Mariemont did not like something they saw out of the Oakwood defensive alignment, so they're going to have to take a timeout and talk it over. Did anything jump out at you there, Chris?
No, I was kind of confused. Maybe it just had, again, it could have been the first game, a little bit of rust there from the first, game. Nothing really jumped out to me. It just looked like maybe they didn't like something, or
maybe an odd defensive look they didn't see on tape. Out of this 52 defense being played by the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, I mean we're next to the Mariemont coaching staff up here in the box, and there was no indication from them that they didn't say anything. So it obviously came from the sideline that
A good shot at Mariemont's head coach, Curry Commons. Very successful varsity career, 16 years, 94-63 record coming into tonight's game. 5 years for the Fighting Owls of Mount Healthy, another ICRC community. 6 years with the Highlanders at Oak Hills, and then he made the move to the east side. 5 years here for the Warriors.
Welcome to the east side.
So here we go. 4:22 still on the clock after the timeout. Rennie takes the snap. Fakes a handoff. He's going to keep it himself up the middle. Nice play call. He's going to get out to just shy of the 25-yard line. So nice job selling the play fake by the junior Wally Rennie.
Well, this is exactly what I was wondering, if they were going to start to get Wally Rennie going on the ground, I suppose, because, again, both offenses really haven't been able to get anything going with the pass. And, we talked about the dual threat that Wally Rennie is in the pregame. And there we go. That's exactly what he shows there. Gets a first down on a gain of about 11 or so.
Well, the offensive line opened up some nice holes that time. So some adjustments made from the box and down on the field. And things looking promising. Quick pass is going to be complete. Before the receiver is tripped up. Pass is complete out to number 5, Brady Holiday. So nice gainer on first down of about 8 yards. Bring up 2nd and 2, or maybe a little more.
It was a good job in the slot there by Holiday to get it, get some, get a nice little bit of real estate there and get yourself good 8 yards. Great play on first down.
Well, we've seen these quick screens being called by Mariemont. That one worked pretty well when the receiver was able to get open. Now we're going to have a handoff. Hole's not going to materialize. He's running the wrong way as Vianello, and he's going to be brought down back inside the 30. So handoff to the right side and nowhere to go, and end up going the wrong way.
Yeah, Glenn, this is something we talked about, earlier, especially in the pregame, and even before the pregame when we first got here to the stadium. The defense of Oakwood, if they could actually step up a little bit and make some plays, they're going to put themselves in a great spot based off the transition from their offense. And so far, they're doing a great job of slowing down this high-powered Mariemont offense.
Sure are. 3rd and 5, 2:40 now. Remaining in the opening quarter. Week 1, varsity high school football action. Quick pass by Rennie is complete. A nice spin move on the catch by Casella. That's going to be good for a first down. Move those chains a little bit closer down to the end zone. They really like this rhythm that Mariemont's in right now. Quick passes, quick handoffs. I mean, when the holes have materialized, it's been going pretty well. It's just a matter of getting those holes opened up in the running game.
Yeah, the quicker you get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, the better off I think you're going to be in most situations, and that's exactly what it does. It keeps the defense off balance. So they're doing a really good job of that so far.
Rennie with an empty backfield, 3 receivers to the bottoms, 2 to the top. Protection holds up. That's a great pass, complete across the middle to Casella, and boy, did he take a lick. He's not hurt, but you can't tell me he went a little bit slow getting up there. That was a heck of a lick.
Yeah, that was, wow. That was, what a hit.
Wow. One of those ones where you kind of get mugged in a dark alley when you're out too late.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, he's going to be feeling that one tomorrow. When he wakes up, he's going to be a little sore.
Some conversation with the officials. Let's see what they have to say. We're going to get an announcement.
Catch, personal foul, number 32.
Yep.
Oakwood. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the big hit results in a big 15-yard penalty. Heard our referee, Murray Stahl, announce that there. It was on Mo Herringer. Yep. Going to the head. That was a point of emphasis emphasized a couple years ago, and maybe borderline, but probably the taunting after the play didn't help his cause there any.
I think that was more on the taunting, because if you look, I mean, it was a bang-bang play. I know in the replay it's obviously a little slower, but here in real time we saw it. He turned around. It was, I mean, the defensive back's right there, so there's really not much you can do by Mo Herringer there, but I think it was the taunting on the after the play.
Great job by our crew in the truck, led by Jason Dudley, tracking down that alternate angle to bring that to you. 1st and 10, 2:13. Handoff. Vianello is looking for room on the right side, able to turn the corner, but he's going to be shoved out of bounds with some power by number 6, Brendan Talarchik.
Again, that lateral speed that we're seeing right now from Oakwood is pretty impressive. They're keeping VNL from really being able to cut it up the field. Look at that. I mean, you got 3 defenders right there, and then a couple guys shed their blocks, and boom, there we go.
Yeah, they're definitely closing down the running lanes to prevent any big gainers, that's for sure. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Clock stopped at 2:05 as the signals come in from the sideline for the Warriors. Offensive coordinator is Ryan Drake for Mariemont. Rennie with 1 man in the backfield with him. 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. There's that quick screen out to the left side again. Pass is complete to Coward. It's going to be a little bit shy of the first down, though. It's going to set up a situation where maybe 2 yards are needed.
The question is, what do you do here? I mean, do you let Rennie put the ball in his hands, see if he can make a play? I mean, they're doing a good job of getting the ball out. I mean, obviously the running attack here with Vianella just hasn't been able to get going, but see what they do.
3rd and a long 2. Rennie fakes the handoff, pass complete on the slant to Daniel Casella, who stays on his feet and gets inside. Well, just near the 10-yard line, not quite inside. It's going to be marked at the 11, but a great play call by the Warriors and a good job by Casella.
Again, doing a great job getting the ball out quickly and making Oakwood react to it really quick, as opposed to letting them kind of settle in and get pressure on them.
Casella drug 3 Lumberjack defenders with him to get that extra yak. So 1st and 10 from the 11, still feasible to get another first down, but why not get 6 out of it? Rennie's going to keep it himself, finds a hole, is going to dive for the corner, but he's going to be about 2 yards shy. So great speed by Rennie to get the Warriors down to within 2 yards of the end zone and just a yard shy of a first down. It's going to look like maybe 2.
And look at him here. Look at that hole there he had.
Nice
he was
block.
able to, I mean, he was able to make that, once he got around that corner.
Vianello didn't finish his defender off, but he got him out of the way for an extra yard or 2.
Sometimes it's all it takes. If you're able just to get enough on him, just to kind of shove him off, it makes a world of difference, and that's what they've been able to do so far.
Ball spotted just inside the 5-yard line. They need to get to the 2 for a first down, so it's 2nd and 3 from the 5. Little hesitation, draw play by Rennie. He's going to get it up right on the 1, maybe 2-inch line, it looks like, Chris, but that should be 1st and goal as we're under a minute now in the first quarter.
I was just going to say, it looks like he got just enough there. Now they're going to mark him short.
Short of the first, wow.
Yeah,
I thought he had it for sure, but that's our angle up here in the great press box that we get to work in at Kusel Stadium when we visit here. So 3rd and inches, and it looks like the Warriors going to get 1 more off.
That's what it's looking like.
Too much time left to run out, so they've got to run at least 1 more. A great line by our sideline camera. You can see just less than a yard short of the first down. Rennie calls for the snap, fakes the handoff, pass complete, touchdown. Nice little slant pattern by the Warriors, and instead of a first down, they get 6. And Rennie comes up gimpy. Not a good sign for Warrior fans.
Yeah, he looked awkward when he threw that, but that was a great job by Charlie Coward to get open there in the slot, right across the middle, and touchdown. Give him 6. So the injury to Wally Rennie's going to be an interesting one to see.
Yeah, he's not limping as much now on the sideline as he was in the middle of the field. So hopefully it's something he can get some treatment while the defense is out. But he is the holder on special teams too, so that presents a little bit of a scenario. So out taking the hold now is Daniel Casella instead of Rennie.
We got a flag here. Looks like it may be too many men on the field here on Oakwood.
These early season penalties that'll drive a coach nuts.
It's not like you've had all summer to work on it.
Don't want to be that guy in film study tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not going to go well. Never. It's never a good way to start your Saturday, I'll tell you that.
Doesn't matter. It's too many men on the field, a false start, whatever it is. You don't want to draw the ire of the coach in film study game 1 or game 12.
Substitution infraction. Oakwood. Penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
So Mariemont will elect to take the penalty on the kickoff, as you just heard Murray Stahl say. Probably not the forced decision they could have made. Good strategy. Hopefully just a chip shot here. A little bit of a wobbly snap, but it's going to go just wide right. So maybe the wobbly snap was a little bit of an issue. You can't put that on the holder other than trying to get a wobbly snap down, but it kind of came out sideways, it looked like, Chris. Be curious to see the replay on it.
Yeah, it's definitely that's a tough job there for the holder to get, especially when that snap comes in a little off kilter. Makes it really tough to get it and bring down for a good kick.
A little bit of a highlight package of this last drive. There you see Vianello taking the handoff from Rennie out to the right side, able to turn the corner before he's shoved out of bounds. Here's Rennie, fakes a handoff, quick pass across the middle, complete to Casella. And that's when he drug a few extra defenders with him. And then there's the touchdown pass, quick pass, almost a pop pass right across the middle. Not quite Tebow-esque, but maybe some faint resemblance to it, Chris.
You know, one thing to keep an eye on. I'm watching Rennie across the field there. He just tried to run over on the other sideline. He's struggling a little bit. He's still got a pretty good limp going, so he's doing a light jog now. Looks like it could be like a hip pointer type injury. He's holding on to that hip.
Yeah, noticed he was still grabbing at that right hip, or kind of quad area, or leaning down that way,
which is going to be his plant foot. You lose your plant foot, you're gonna struggle with any power or any accuracy on that football.
Yeah, he's still a little gingerly walking back on his back pedals. He's taking those warm-up throws on the other side of the field. You can faintly see that in the wide shot you just saw on your screen. But there's another fantastic kick for a touchback by Hollander. And boy, I tell you, they definitely, not to knock last year's kicker, but with the leg we've seen on this kid so far tonight on kickoffs, they definitely missed him.
Yeah, that's a good weapon to have. Anytime you can, eliminate the return as a coach, that's what you're looking for.
So not the worst field position in the world for the Lumberjacks. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Just a few ticks under 20 seconds remaining in the opening quarter here. Week 1 Friday night football action on ICRC-TV Sports. Good play up the middle. Is going to move the pile forward to about the 25-yard line. It's a nice run that time by the Lumberjacks. Take a look at it on replay.
Yeah, Josh Imangero on that play there. He had a good amount of momentum going through the hole there.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Your score after one. Home team, Mariemont Warriors 6. The Oakwood Lumberjacks 0, but they have the football and are driving. Thoughts on the first quarter, Chris?
It was pretty interesting so far. If you look at, again, the defense is what really stands out here. Both teams, again, the lateral speed has been very impressive. Mariemont's defensive front four done a great job of wreaking havoc in the backfield of Oakwood. And on the flip side of that, I've impressed the way Oakwood has been able to limit Alec Vianello from getting anything really going outside of that one long run that we saw in the highlight package earlier. Other than that, it's been pretty, it's been a pretty low-key, first quarter for both offenses.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. It's talked about it early on of being a little bit of a punt fest, and that's definitely been the case so far. Mariemont able to find a few things to get into rhythm there. Oakwood still struggling with it a little bit, Chris. So we'll see what they can do here on this next offensive series, see if they're able to make any adjustments, get things headed in the right direction for them. 6-0 here at the end of one. Glenn Olson and Chris Asbrock on the call. Jason Dudley and another fantastic crew here on a beautiful evening at Kusel Stadium. Temperatures bound to be in the mid-70s by now as the sun begins to set down in the right corner of your shots, and no room there, huh?
I mean, I can't say it enough. Marshawn Curtis again is in the backfield. He didn't make the tackle there, but watch this replay here. he about takes the handoff. That is what you're seeing from this Mariemont front four. It's very impressive thus far.
Curtis, just an animal. We talked about how many tackles he had last year. So 3rd and 3 for the Lumberjacks. Not going much of anywhere at this point. There's a high pass. Way overshot his intended receiver, and pretty lucky that Casella didn't pick that one off had he been a step quicker.
Yeah, if Casella had that one picked, he was taking that one for 6 because he had an impressive amount of green in front of him here. Look at that. You can just see ball just sailed on Irby on that play, and again he got lucky that Casella wasn't there to take it to the house.
So Sargent back to punt again. Punters are the MVPs of this game so far, and there was a hand on that ball. You can't tell me that didn't cause some disruption.
Look who it is.
Yep. The ball's going to roll out of bounds at the 43 or 44 yard line. So, yeah, nice job by Mariemont Special Teams unit getting there and creating some havoc.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of putting pressure on anything that Oakwood's been able to do. It's definitely been tough sledding for them so far.
Good shot of the Lumberjacks, the visitors in tonight's game, down the near sideline here. Kusel Stadium, home team Warriors take the far sideline. Away from 2 bands and 2 crowds, so a little more room to communicate over there.
And a lot quieter, too. It works out a lot better.
Yeah, basically. So here come the Warriors again on offense.
See what that injury has done to Rennie and see how he can adjust to it.
Well, quick pass again over to the right side is going to be complete to Vianello. Vianello, good speed and good technique, is going to move the chains for the Warriors.
Well, that was a good first play.
Yeah, really no hesitation in the pass.
No.
Dart out to Vianello on the right side. Boy, look at him just drag that defender with him. Had to drag him a good 5 yards. Great strength by Vianello. 1st and 10, under 11 minutes now. And there's a quick pass over to the left side to Holiday, who's going to get good yardage as well, and that should be right at the marker. We'll see where the official spot comes in, but that's not a first down. It should be maybe a yard shy. Pilarczyk with the force out for the Lumberjacks. So 2nd and 2. Warriors offense and a little bit of rhythm here with those quick passes, those screens. Rennie's going to drop back deep this time and look for the long ball. He's got a receiver. He's going to the end zone. Hauled in. Touchdown. What a beautiful pass to Charlie Cowart that time. Rennie with all the time in the world. Cowart with a good job of making the adjustment to catch that ball near the back of the end zone.
That was a beautiful catch by Charlie Cowart. Right over top of just another gorgeous throw by Wally Rennie. Took the top off the defense on that, and, I mean, he hauled it in. See if we'll get a replay here, but that was, I mean, that's how you execute on a long pass. Great job by Mariemont. That gets the Warriors in a really good spot here early on in the 2nd quarter.
Mariemont finding some things they like with those quick screen passes, and there's a flag's going to come in from the back of the end zone.
Looks like another substitution infraction is what it's looking like. It's a 2nd one.
Substitution infraction, Oakwood. The penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
After you draw one of those penalties just a few minutes ago, you got to get that figured out and figure out who's supposed to be on the field on a special teams play.
Well, as soon as we saw the flag, you could see the Oakwood coaching staff. They were not happy. And this poor kid's he's getting a chewing right now.
It happened right in front of us. It's nice kick right down the middle, and this one is good. So it'll be 13-0 for the Warriors after a extra point conversion after the penalty for too many men on the field. So all of a sudden the Warriors are rolling here, Chris.
Yeah, if they can continue to get this going, I mean, this game could be over pretty quick if they can continue that defensive momentum and then obviously transfer it over to the offense so far, which is what they've done their last 2 drives, being able to put up 13 points on this Oakwood defense.
So, despite the injury concerns with Wally Rennie, he looked pretty good on some short screen passes there. His receivers did a good job of getting yards after catch, and all of a sudden the Warriors have opened up a 13-point lead. 10:46 remaining in the opening half from Crucial Stadium, Mariemont, Ohio. Mariemont, of course, one of our ICRC communities. Want to thank our viewers and community members for enabling us to bring you this game. Both of our remote trucks in high definition this year. If you're watching online, you can watch it in beautiful high def. Getting set for Hollander to kick off yet again. Clock at 10:46. It's going to be tough on those Lumberjacks receivers back there. The sun's sort of right in their eyes. They kicked up all over to the left side. Hollander does. They're going to be looking right at it, and they do indeed. A little bit of a leftward trajectory, but into the end zone for yet another touchback. Big surprise.
Yeah, those penalties have twice come back to bite them on the ensuing kickoff. So we shall see what happens here.
Well, it's sometimes you can chalk that up to early season glitches, but as we said a moment ago, after one, you think you kind of get that figured out, and one of the coaches was pretty animated and talking to the offending player to get that straightened out on the next one.
Wow.
Back to pass, under pressure, ball's going to sail a little bit. Irby was trying to find Talarczyk. Talarczyk was looking around like maybe he'd been held up, maybe looking for some relief from the referees, but none forthcoming at this point. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get a flag on that one. But again, Curtis, Marshawn Curtis, again, he sheds his blocker insanely fast and is in the backfield to hurry that throw from Irby.
So Irby takes the snap, runs into his own player, bounces off of him, rolls to the left side, able to turn the corner. He's going to dive for the first down and should get it. So nice speed and athleticism displayed by Irby.
Well, when you roll away from Marshawn Curtis, it kind of makes things a little easier on them.
You know who to run away from.
Exactly.
Right? Whoever that guy is, run the other way.
You find him and then...
Regardless if it's one of your own guys in the way.
And looks like they took him out, so they can free reign now.
Irby, slant pass over to the right side. Or not a slant pass, a screen pass, excuse me. Pass is complete. Good haul in that time by Dylan Capletti. So first down, fresh set of downs for the Lumberjacks. Ball snap from the 38. Irby's going to roll to his right. Might have been a block in the back there, but no flag on the forthcoming. But he's going to be dropped for a loss of 1, maybe 2. I think maybe that was a block in the back there.
Yeah, it could have been. Was able to help him at least escape danger for the meantime. But
yeah, minimizes.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you kind of see a little push there.
A little bit away from the play, I guess. Probably didn't have much of an impact. So actually a gain of 1, 3rd and 9. High pass is hauled in by Brendan Talarczyk. He's going to get down to midfield. So now the Lumberjacks have found a little bit of rhythm in these quick screen passes. The ball's going to be spotted right at midfield at the 50, maybe a touch inside the Lumberjack side of the 50. Under 9.5 now. Mariemont with a 13-point lead with the Lumberjacks driving, finding some things working offensively. Irby, quick pass, look to his left the whole way, tucks it in, rolls to his right before he's tackled by, guess who? Marshawn Curtis.
Can't really say too much different than what I've said so far. I mean, look at it. He just a professional performance so far by Marshawn Curtis, being able to shed the blockers, and obviously he's just continuing to make plays tonight.
Good way to start your senior year on the huddle account with the performance he's having tonight. Am I right?
Yeah, then he proceeds to get planted there on the next play. He's coming up a little little lame there. The shoulder hurting a little bit. So we'll see what that can what kind of effect that has on him right now. He's hurting a little bit
Yeah.
as he gets down the 4-point stance.
Kind of windmilling that right arm and taking a deep breath before the ball was snapped, and he got down in his 4-point stance. Helmet comes off. And
really surprised
Josh
not to see a flag on that one.
Amangero tried to keep driving forward. And, you'll see the helmet come off right there. And no whistle by the official at that point. We hear coming from the Oakwood coaching box.
Yeah, they're a little vocal over there.
So Irby's going to come over and get some one-on-one coaching from the sideline before heading back out to the huddle. Lumberjacks break the huddle. Oh, and all kinds of confusion, and here comes the flag. See who's the guilty party that time. So all kinds of confusion on both sides of the ball.
Snap infraction. First down.
And it will go against the Lumberjacks, so a little bit of progress going to be stymied by yet another penalty.
I mean, you had a chance to, as you can see, they were trying to draw him offside on 4th and 2, and now you set yourself back an extra 5 yards, and it's definitely now a punting situation.
Yeah. 4th and 7 now. Lumberjacks go into punt formation with Sargent. Holiday and Casella back deep. And the Lumberjacks are going to call a timeout on a 4th down punt play, Chris. So special teams, an area of concern tonight for this Oakwood squad.
Yeah, it's not going to be a pleasant trip back for the Oakwood coaching staff when they kind of sit back and review their special teams performance thus far. It has not been pretty for them. Continuing to shoot themselves in the foot, and it's really putting themselves in a bad spot, and really putting the defense in a bad spot with all these, with these errors.
Don't want to waste penalties and timeouts, and you definitely don't want to do that on special teams.
Yeah, that's a no-no there. That's one thing that drives the coach absolutely bonkers.
So 4th and 6 officially on the scoreboard, but punt formation for the Lumberjacks. Jake Sargent, 10 punts, 367 yards last year, averaging just under 37 yards. Long was 53. It's probably the best punt we've seen tonight, and that's going to be a fair catch, hauled in at the 5-yard line, and a little bit of a risky catch that time by Brady Holiday.
Yeah, there was some indecision on that one. He didn't know. He kept looking at it, didn't know exactly what to do. He was. You could definitely tell he was debating on letting it bounce, but the way it's gone so far for him.
So a little bit of adversity here for the Warriors, even though they have a 13-point lead. Deep field position to start this drive. Ball's going to be down at the 10-yard line, or at the 5, excuse me. So Rennie's going to take these snaps in the shadow of his own end zone. 1 receiver to the top, 3 to the bottom, net bunch formation. Rennie calls for the snap, a little bit of a delayed snap, handoff up the middle. Good second effort to get the ball out to about the 10-yard line, maybe a yard shy. So Vianella with a good job to give the Warriors some breathing room, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Glenn, this is a very important drive here for Mariemont, actually for both teams. You got just over 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. A long drive here that will result in points could really not put this game out of reach, but really, kind of put a dagger in them a little bit, force them to really play back in the second half. So and obviously would give Mariemont a lot of momentum going into the third quarter.
Rennie on the slant. That's picked off. Dangerous pass. That ball was picked cleanly that time by number 32 of the Oakwood Lumberjacks, and that's Mo Herringer.
He made up for his unsportsmanlike penalty, but you can see there, Rennie, he didn't see him. Herringer was sitting right back in the coverage, and he just, look at this there. He stares him down, but then you can just tell.
Yeah.
Didn't see Herringer at all as he stepped up and.
Ball came out of his hand a little bit funny. I don't think it was hit. I just think it came out of his hand funny, and then threw the ball a little bit behind, and there was Herringer to jump the route, and all of a sudden Oakwood with some momentum here. So we said Mariemont had some adversity, and they didn't respond well to it.
And their touchdown.
That's just to move the pack forward and hope you get a good spot, and there it is. So the Lumberjacks have found the end zone after the turnover on the interception. 6:36 remaining, 13-6 for the Jacks. And that'll put a little spark in the step of Brian Irby, as you see on your screen right there.
I was just going to say, remember how right before the interception, I said, hey, very important drive for Mariemont. Next play, interception. Now, for Oakwood to punch that in, we've got ourselves a ball game here with 6:36 to go in the second quarter. A conversion here of an extra point put them within 6. Oh, blocked.
And blocked.
I didn't see who got a hand on that one.
So we each had a missed special teams point after kick. We're going to take a look at it again on replay here, but the touchdown and extra point lead will hold 13-6. Boy, just
looks like that could have been Charlie Cowart there. I can't really get a good look. It's Charlie Cowart. Yeah. He's had quite the game so far.
Just plowed right through that offensive line.
Well, it helps out. He's 6'3", 215. So he's using that height to really get up there and make some plays.
Yep, indeed.
And now here it's going to fall now on the Oakwood defense who stepped up and made a play. And on the last drive coming up with a big interception, can they do it again and really, make things a lot easier for their offense going into the tail end of this quarter?
Well, definitely some times to reassess things on special teams for the Lumberjacks based on what we've seen so far tonight, Chris. Some penalties, and now, protection doesn't hold up, and thankfully Mariemont had missed an extra point of their own. Otherwise, you get one of those awkward scoring situations where you have to go for 2 when you don't really want to, or the chart says you don't go for it.
You can see right now the Oakwood staff in front of us on the sidelines is really – oh, should I let that one go?
Yeah, that one was just a
just
yard. Wait a minute. Should we let that go? Ball nearly went out of bounds, but Vianello picks it up and promptly trots it down to the Oakwood 40-yard line, and a pretty nice stiff arm.
Use that truck stick right at the end.
Yeah.
Boom. Drop
exactly
the hammer.
Right. Can't wait to take a look at that on replay, and I'm pretty sure that Vianello can't wait to see it tonight either.
Like I said, Glenn, he should have let that bounce.
Yeah, should have let it bounce and go out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, not take it all the way down into your opponent's territory.
As soon as he picked it up, we both looked like, oh boy, like here we go. Because you could see it. I mean, you could see everything, formulate in front of us, and it was like, well, once he got past that first wave, it was. Yeah, here it is right here. Look at that. Once he gets past that first wave of 4 defenders.
All kinds of blocking and just good speed, and wow. Somebody over in a Lumberjack uniform is going to be feeling that tomorrow, Matt Sanford. Kicker.
Yeah. I see kickers that always get a bad rap, and that doesn't help out.
Yeah.
Oh, man, here we go. Oh.
Ball should have been caught, but Vianello juggled it in his hands before it drops to the turf, but that would have been a first down and more. Could have had Warriors knocking on the goal line if he didn't take it to the house, Chris.
The coaching staff next to us in the booth, as soon as that ball was snapped, they had their hands up. They thought they had something there. Ran without the ball.
Yep.
Get you every time.
Vianello just bobbled that ball a little bit. Well, interesting formation here. 4 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Empty backfield for Rennie. Ball's going to be snapped right around the 40-yard line. He's going to roll out to his right side. Pass will be complete right around the first down marker to number 5, Brady Holliday, and that will indeed be a first down with a nice effort by Holliday after the catch.
Once you get a few scores in there, now the game's kind of opened up a little bit. Now we're seeing the scoring like we thought we were going to see. Both teams now just starting to get into a rhythm. You can tell. Both, once you get in that rhythm, things start to go a little smoother now, and that's what we're seeing from this Mariemont offense now with Wally Rennie really getting things going and dictating the offense.
4 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Formation just flipped to Rennie in an empty backfield again. Another quick pop pass out. Oh, can't believe there's not a flag there. The intended receiver was wrapped up before the ball even hit him. Trying to get it out to Vianello that time. I kind of thought that he had him wrapped up before the ball got there.
That was dangerous because that ball popped up in the air too, and I was kind of surprised because it looked like Sam Delatorre could have made a play there, but the ball just bounced in front of him.
Well, you had to wonder when somebody is going to start making an adjustment. These screens were coming just a little bit too easy, it seemed like. So why not tighten up your coverage at the line a little bit? Try to take that away.
Well, you got to give credit to both coaching staffs who have made the adjustments, and you can definitely tell what we've seen so far. Adjustments have been made.
Same formation, 4 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Rennie rolls that to his right, tries to dump one off, but a little bit low for his intended receiver at the top of your screen. He's trying to get it back to Vianello again. So a little bit of pressure in his face there, threw the ball a little bit low, falls harmlessly to the turf. 3rd and 10 now. So a promising drive, stuck in the mud here, Chris.
That was a smart move there by the junior quarterback just to get rid of that ball and kind of throw it in the turf to where nobody could really make a play on it. But we'll see. Big 3rd down here.
5:49. Pressure coming. Rennie's got to get rid of it before he gets hit, and he does. Pass is complete to Vianello on the left side, who's going to get down close to the 10-yard line, but forced out of bounds at the 12. So nice recovery that time by the Warriors, despite some adversity, to convert that 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a great play there by Rennie. That's one thing I was wondering about was any sort of pressure with his injury, because now he's limping pretty good again here.
Mm-hmm.
Any sort of pressure on him to force him to run outside of the normal, rolling out.
2 to the bottom, 2 to the top. Vianello in the backfield with Rennie. 5:41, Rennie rolls that to his right. Pass is complete. 1st down and more. It's going to be just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Looks like it's going to be marked down at the 1-yard line. So Braden Bortz, first time we've called his number tonight that I remember, hauls one in and very nearly gets it into the end zone before he's tripped up. So nice job by Bortz. One of those players who's making his debut up on the varsity this year. Didn't have any stats that we could record last year. He's a new player, didn't play last season with a broken collarbone. But member of that state champion Mariemont lacrosse team last spring. So congrats to Mariemont and the Warriors on that state title last year. Neglected to mention that thus far in the broadcast, but it's always good to bring the big trophy home at the end of the season. So the Warriors are going to take timeout number 2 with the Warriors threatening. It's 13-6 and the ball on the 1-yard line. So interesting situation here for the Lumberjacks. What do you do? So many weapons on this Mariemont offense. You key on one guy, it's going to free up somebody else. You got to make sure you have all your bases covered. 5 minutes, probably not a bad use of a timeout.
Yeah, kind of make sure you get a chance to get everything in order here, and obviously you got a few plays that you can run in this type of situation here just to get again, you just want to get your priorities right here in a situation like this. So we'll see what they come out with, and curious to see how they handle it because they've done a really good job. And see Rennie, he's lining up here to the bottom part of your screen. He's just out of the picture.
A little bit of trickeration. He kind of limped his way out there to the left. So I'd say you leave him uncovered, but so taking the snap is going to be Holiday. He's going to roll around to the right side.
He's in.
And he does. He's able to turn the corner and sneak inside that pylon. Touchdown. So obviously Rennie's hurt. And they turn to Brady Holiday to take the snap and run that ball into the end zone, Chris.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering what they were going to do in a situation like that with Rennie. He's taken a little bit of a beating on his own accord here. That was a great job, though. I mean, a little bit of trickeration there. Holiday, once he got the corner there, he was just going to use his size. I mean, 5'9", 179. It's good size there coming at you.
Yeah, Holiday played mainly on defense last year, but showing his offensive prowess thus far. So 19-6, the kick goes up, and it's make it 20-6 now. Just under 5 minutes, 4:59 remaining in the second quarter. So, yeah, nice adjustment there on the fly by the coaching staff, knowing that Rennie's a little banged up here. And let's put some guy back there that's got a full set of wheels to cart that ball around the right side and find the end zone in a short yardage situation. Ringing the bell here at Mariemont High School, celebrating another Warrior touchdown. Just going to be an interesting situation here for the Lumberjacks. What are they going to do? They're going to key on Rennie a little bit more and try to bring a little more pressure now that they've gotten a pretty good hint that he's somewhat immobile.
I think you have to. I mean, you could tell on the play that really re-injured him. You know, you forced him to make a play, something like I said, not normal, and he really came up limping there. So I think if you continue to put that that pressure on him, kind of give him a couple different looks, you can really change the way Mariemont's going to handle the rest of this football game if you can get, depending on what on what goes on.
We'll see what happens.
Whew,
Hollander with another strong kick. It's going to be fielded at the 1. Maybe his leg's tired from kicking so much tonight, but good return that time by Dylan Caplet. He's going to bring it out to the 25, 26-yard line. So good starting position for the Lumberjacks this time. There's a replay after the catch. So it's first non-touchback, right?
Yeah, that's so far.
Hollander kick so far tonight.
Yeah, Caplet, you can see he did kind of stumbled a little bit, briefly on the return there. Wasn't able to get good footing as he cut off and jumped offside. Marquand Curtis this time.
Sophomore mistake.
It happens. We all do it. All do it. Just got a little excited. It happens.
Maybe change his cadence up a little bit, switch things up, and try to get an easy 5 yards out of the deal.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you got to do. Change up a little bit of your look, and
he's going to run around to the left side and plenty of room out to midfield.
Nice pass there. It was a little swing pass. Got some good yardage there, and now Caplet, he's hurt.
Yeah, keep an eye on Caplet. He comes up a little gimpy after being brought down by this Warriors defense. Cut back across the field and runs into a couple players, including Cowart. There's another quick pass. That's complete, and that's going to go to the end zone. All of a sudden, Oakwood's back in this football game. Nice play calling by the Lumberjacks.
Well, the punter makes a play there. Jake Sargent.
Yeah, amazing. No flags, so Oakwood said, we're not out of this game just yet.
You can see that was just the pure speed there as he was just able to pull away once he got that football. The yards after catch, the yak.
Vianella was in hot pursuit, but just a yard too short, so 20-12, and an extra point attempt on the way for the Lumberjacks.
Brian Irby, just below us, is pumped up. Kind of jawing a little bit at the children here. And
Sanford's kick is up and good. So after Mariemont pulls ahead, the Lumberjacks able to answer 20-13 with 4:30 remaining. Interesting. That unfolded all pretty quickly, I might say.
Yeah. As you would see on the movies, that escalated quickly. That definitely got. I mean, out of nowhere, the quick strike, which is what we talked about early on. The switching of the offense, and what was going on there, and that's certainly coming into play here today.
Let's go and take a look at the replay with a little bit of a different look at it from one of our field level cameras, and yeah, just good speed being displayed out there on the field by the punter, Jake Sargent.
Yeah, you gotta love the wheels from the punter there. I mean, obviously on a lot of these, smaller schools, a lot of guys are going to be playing both sides of the football, which is what we're seeing here. I mean, and these kids, just unbelievable performance so far. We've already seen the 33 points here. We still got over 4.5 minutes left in this second quarter, so entertaining second quarter of football so far, what we've seen.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a battle of the punts, but all of a sudden an offensive explosion that we predicted early on is broken out, so maybe just getting the cobwebs out and the rust knocked off, and let's go hit somebody in a different color jersey.
Sometimes it's all you need. Once you get those, the preseason jitters out and get things rolling, you can really get things going.
Kickoff's fielded inside the 15 by Vianello, and he's going to be forced out of bounds before he can be tackled. So ball will be spotted down at the 28-yard line, just inside the 28, so not the worst field position in the world here for the Warriors. See Vianello fielding the kick and just forced out of bounds. Nowhere to run.
Yeah, ran out of real estate.
Forced out of bounds by Brendan Talarczyk. We've called his name several times tonight for the Lumberjacks out of Dayton Oakwood. Rivalry extends back to 2013. Been several close contests, and the Lumberjacks itching to get a win in the series. They've not won a game since that initial game back in 2013. And they're within 7 of tying this ball game now. They can force a turnover here. Rennie's going to take the snap. Good time. Pass is complete. Short pass. Going to be good for about 4 yards, maybe 5. Good job by Rennie getting rid of the ball quickly. Able to cover up the skimpiness that he's been afflicted with after a hit back in the first quarter.
Again, a situation like that where you are when the quarterback is coming up a little lame, I think you just got to do what you can to get the ball out of his hands quickly, which is what they've done so far. They've done a really good job of executing on plays like that.
2nd and 5, low snap, brought up quickly, pass is complete, out to Holiday, who's going to dig and get the first down. Ball's going to be moved out to about the 42-yard line. So Warriors in a little bit of rhythm here.
Yeah, it's something we've seen so far, which is, what happened the last drive they had. You get in that rhythm, they can really make things happen.
Let's look at that strength by Holiday.
Man.
2 guys just dragging with him. 2 to the bottom, 2 to the top, 1 in the backfield. Slant complete across the middle to Casella. Nice play call by the Warriors. It's good enough for a first down, and the Warriors are marching into Lumberjack territory.
Glenn, that's not the first time we've seen this play, called. They're going to break one. They've come very, very close a couple times of breaking and taking it to the house. Here's another situation where, if he's able to get past that defender, he's going to the house.
Lots of quick slants and screens. Rennie, empty backfield, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Lets it fly across the middle. A little bit of a risky pass that time. Had Sam Delator been a couple steps over to his left, that would have been right in his breadbasket.
Yeah, you're going to see a hold. It looked like we had a hold in the backfield there. On the pressure from.
So a risky pass and a penalty to boot. Not the kind of progress the Warriors wanted to see.
Now you can see Renee. See, here's the confirmation from the referee.
Holding, number 55, blue. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, that's tough right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a.
Well, you were over in Lumberjack territory, and now you're back getting pretty close to your own end zone. The ball's going to be marked at the 38-yard line when we were up at the 48 of the Lumberjacks. So a little bit of a walk-off here. Just a 1-touchdown lead, and Oakwood showing some quick strike capability. Clock stopped at 3:10 after the penalty. It's 1st and 20. Rennie with 1 in the backfield, 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Protection holds up, but here it comes. He dumps it off, and again, in and out of the hands of Vianello. Not all his fault that time. The ball hit him, and he was already wrapped up. So as the defender was trying to drag him to the ground, he just couldn't keep a firm grasp on the football.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of, again, making those adjustments like we were talking about. Teams that make the adjustments are the ones that, they put themselves in a better position to win. Right now, Oakwood has done a really good job of making those adjustments, and they've kept this high-powered Mariemont offense really, relatively down. I guess the best way to put it.
After the incompletion, the clock stops at 3:03, second and 24. One in the backfield. Mariemont's going to hand off to Vianella.
Oh, nice.
Breaking tackles, gets up to midfield, so good play call, and it works pretty well, just not in a 3rd and 24 situation, so it's going to bring up 4th and 11 or 12 here for the Warriors. Clock down to approaching 2:40. Continues to tick. Vianello, just good job. Spun off that tackle there, shifts the ball to his other hand, works his way to the outside. And you see him brought down right around midfield. He's marked at the 49 of Oakwood.
Yeah, that was a great play on that, to make things happen on that second 24 play, gain 13.
3rd and a bunch, 3 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Vianello in the backfield, Rennie with all kinds of time. Targets Vianello. Pass is caught, complete. He's off to the races. One man to beat, and he will do it. Touchdown, Mariemont. Nice conversion on 3rd and 11.
Just like that.
Quick strike, man.
Just like that. I mean, out of nowhere, it seemed like. I mean, how do you leave Vianello open like that on the sidelines? He had,
we said that earlier. How do you leave that guy open?
I mean, he's 6'2", 195. That's not a tiny guy.
He's coming out of the backfield, but you got to keep somebody on him just because you know what kind of capability he brings. And if you forgot, he just showed you.
Exactly. We mentioned that in the pregame. He's another weapon out of the backfield that they have, and there we go.
Yeah, great job by Vianello that time. Good pass from Rennie, and another
It's
strong
good.
kick through the uprights by Hollander. So just like that, it's 27-13 in favor of the Warriors.
Well, as we've seen so far, 2 minutes and 9 seconds is plenty of time to get another, 2 touchdowns out of this game from what we've seen so far. But that was a crucial drive there. And that you had at one point you had a 2nd and 24 situation, and you put yourself in a great spot by taking some of these chunks out of the yardage, and here you go.
So fantastic answer that time by the Warriors. Take another look at the speed of Vianello there. I mean, just look at him leave those defenders in the dust, and he's only got one player to beat in Connor Morris, and he does easily. Finds that far corner of the end zone. Just quick strike. Can't say it enough. They are dangerous when you give them some time to work with. So an eventful couple of minutes here. 2:09 remaining in the half, and probably seen our most exciting action of the night here in the second quarter.
Well, we sure have, man. We definitely have. Now you get that 14-point lead. It's curious to see what kind of drive Oakwood's able to put together here going into the half.
Don't sleep on these Lumberjacks. They showed you that. So Hollander, another kick. This one will not go into the end zone. It's fielded at the 5. Plenty of room in front. We said look out for athleticism, and there it is with
man.
He's going to find the house, I think. 10-5, touchdown. Plett dives into the end zone. So he fielded that at the 5-yard line and takes it back 95 yards. Absolutely stunning.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what else you can say, but wow.
I mean, okay. I mean, you get wow.
Look at that. I mean, yeah.
And then
spun off of one tackle, and good job of blocking.
Sam Delatorre with a crucial block there. I mean, otherwise, you're not looking at 6 right there. You're looking, best case scenario, ball at the 25-yard line. Great block, and Dylan Caplet, touchdown. 95 yards.
Well,
wow.
We said offensive fireworks, but we've seen all kinds of fireworks here in the second quarter, Chris.
Hey, did I not say in 2 minutes you can easily have 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. Well, took not even 30 seconds.
I know. Man, looking.
So crazy turn of events here. Just when Mariemont thinks they're starting to put their foot on the throat of this Oakwood Lumberjacks team, they fight back up. And say we're not out of this just yet.
Well, Glenn, we talked about a pregame how evenly matched these teams really are.
Yeah.
And, 7-point lead is about as accurate as you're going to get in this kind of situation.
I mean, we talked a few minutes ago. It's Division 4 and Division 5, so there's definitely an advantage here for Oakwood with a few more male bodies in the classroom. But it seemed to be that Mariemont had the edge coming into this game, just in terms of returning skill experience. But Oakwood so far showing the big play capability. And after some early miscues on special teams with too many men on the field, they make a heck of a special teams play there with a 95-yard touchdown.
Man. Yeah, that's killer. After you make a nice play on a 49-yard touchdown pass and to give up a touchdown, kickoff return on the ensuing kickoff. I mean, that tends to knock you down a few notches. And we're going to see how Mariemont can respond here.
High kick. Going to be fielded by Casella just outside the 10-yard line. Tries to put a little shift move on, but runs into his own player and ends up falling down. He's going to be marked down at the 24-yard line. So, minute 49 seconds for this Warrior offense to try to answer, Chris. Nice camera shot of the kick in the field there by Casella, and there you see Casella just tried to put a little juke move on and ran into Brady Holiday and tripped over his feet. And he's down to 29-yard line. Or 24-yard line, excuse me. 1:49 remaining. Can the protection hold up for Rennie? Is Rennie going to be able to fire a deep ball with whatever's going on at that injury he suffered back in the first quarter? Stay tuned.
Hey, the rate we're going, a minute 49. Whew.
I'd have 2 or 3 more touchdowns.
I know.
Timeout taken on the field by Mariemont. Coach Commons not happy. Pretty animated coming out onto the field. Talked to his offensive unit. Didn't like something that he saw out there. He's pretty upset by something, Chris.
I'm curious to see what that's going to do now, because you only have a minute 49 and no timeouts left now. So that could really be, that could really play into the hands of Oakwood, who still have their 2 timeouts left going into, this final, crucial drive here of the half. So we'll see if that plays a big part into it, having to force your hand as an offense.
Right. All of a sudden the sideline becomes your friend.
Exactly.
Get those bonus timeouts. But, when that happens, you lose your momentum.
There's the tail end of the touchdown, right? Right before the kickoff. I mean, you could just tell Vianello, he used that speed, and then boom, gone.
Yeah, Vianello, just a tremendous athlete, and then there's nice answer back by Capletti. Vianello takes a handoff up the middle. He's going to gain maybe 3 yards there.
It doesn't seem like Mariemont's in too much of a hurry here. They're going to get the ball at the half, so we'll see how. Like I said, they're not really going to push it. It's better probably to play conservative in this situation as opposed to turning the ball over and really.
Yeah. So one of the more conservative formations we've seen: 2 receivers to the top, Coward to the bottom, 2 in the backfield, trying to limit any mistakes that could be made here. Clock ticks down toward 1 minute. It's going to be a handoff to Vianello. He's going to try the right side, and gaps get plugged. Not a whole lot there.
I was going to say, now you're going to see Oakwood use those timeouts here and stop the clock on 3rd down right now, but about 3rd and 5 it's going to look like.
Well, and if you're Mariemont at this point, you got a pretty good leg over there in Cameron Hollander, so why not just try to limit the damage and kick it away and hope your defense can hold, as we're under a minute now.
Holding, number 57, Mariemont.
Oh.
But a Warriors penalty going to make things a little more difficult.
So again, the special teams coming into it, that's really going to, come into play here.
No need to burn the timeout.
Yeah.
The penalty.
So again, as I said, the special teams, I mean, now you're going to put yourself in a deeper spot in this third or second 15 coming up here. Officials trying to figure everything out here.
So the Warriors had burned a timeout for that first play, and now a couple of miscues and marching in the wrong direction, making things a little bit easier on the Lumberjacks. They're able to come up with the football here before these final 59 seconds tick off heading into halftime. 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom, 2 in the backfield, protecting Rennie. Handoff, cut back up. Not a whole lot of room there on the cutback. As Holiday took the handoff, really nowhere for him to go, Chris.
Yeah, again, it's the conservative play calling here. They're looking to, again, just try and get out of this half. Very minimal damage right now. Oakwood smartly uses their second timeout.
Tried to cut back, but it was right into the waiting hands of number 52, Freeman Whitaker, for the Oakwood Lumberjacks. Clock stopped, 51.4 seconds now. Lumberjacks burn a timeout. As Chris said, they've got 1 left. So they're trying to force Mariemont's hand here and get this ball back with as much time as possible. Try to get some points before halftime. Seems to be getting farther and farther away.
I was going to
say
chess
match here.
The way everything's gone so far, it wouldn't surprise me if anything crazy happened here on any special teams play. So,
1 receiver to the top, 2 to the bottom, 2 in the backfield. For Rennie, expecting a conservative play call here. Delayed handoff to Vianello. He's going to try the right side. Finds a hole. Able to keep on his feet and burn off a few more precious seconds. He brings the ball out to the 30-yard line. It's going to be 4th and 4 for the Warriors.
Oakwood.
So clock stops just under 43 seconds. 6-yard gain on the carry by the Warriors. Officially 4th and 5. Ball's out at the 30-yard line of Oakwood. Nice job by the special teams unit out there to making sure they've got enough and not too many.
well, it's come back to bite them a couple times. So,
yep. Punt formation now for the Warriors. Hollander in those bright green, fluorescent colored, neon colored cleats. Return man for the Jacks back at their own 35-yard line. A little bit of a high snap. Hollander has to go get it. Not much of a rush. That's going to take a Warrior bounce out of bounds inside the 30. Well away from Dylan Capletti. So no return to get bonus yards, but plenty of time, 34 seconds. Try to get some more points here, but no timeout. So they're going to have to look for a lot of boundary plays, I think, Chris. Use that sideline.
Yeah, I mean, you got some time here to really take some chunks of yardage here before you can, at least attempt the field goal. I mean, you got 34 seconds. We've seen what both teams have been able to do in less time than that. So,
man in motion's going to cause a jump by the Warriors. That was Marshawn Curtis, it looked like. Jumped early over on the right side. One of the down linemen.
Mariemont, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So if you're Oakwood, you like getting 5 easy yards like that.
Hey, makes it easier.
Yeah.
Free yardage, you'll take it all day long.
Absolutely. 34 seconds on the clock. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top, 1 in the backfield. Herbie all kinds of time, lets it fly, looking for the home run ball, and it is caught complete down inside the 30-yard line. So a heck of a job This time by the Lumberjacks. It's complete to Connor Dinkler. So that's what you call a change in field position, Chris.
You know what? A touchdown here, and now you put yourself in obviously a lot better spot. When you're at the, what is it, the 22, 23-yard line here.
Herbie under pressure is not going to be able to get away from it, and that's a very timely sack by Marshawn Curtis, because that's going to burn precious seconds. Oakwood's going to have to clock it. Yeah, Oakwood's going to have to clock it here.
Yeah.
Nope, they're going to run the play. They're not going to clock it. They're going to roll the dice. Herbie lets it fly. Oh, pass was complete, but in and out of the hands by Talarczyk. So with 1/10 of a second left on the clock for Oakwood. So really thought they might try to clock it there and get themselves in a better situation. They decided not to, obviously, and now it's time to take a deep stab at the end zone.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of the handling of that last, a couple seconds there. They took way too much time, and now you really don't get your.
Going to go for a field goal. It's going to be a heck of a long field goal.
You're looking at a 46-yarder.
Yeah, 46, 47 yards.
Man, that's tough.
Mariemont's bringing the heat, too.
And he's short.
Good snap, but the kick is well short, so.
See, that's deflating going into the half right there. You had your chance to really to put a stamp at the end of the half, and I mean, you take too much time, and it comes back, and fortunately can't get anything out of it.
So at the end of the first half, it's Mariemont 27, Oakwood 20, Glenn Olson, Chris Asbrock, Jason Dudley in the truck. You're watching ICRC-TV Sports Friday Night Football. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Helmet, I'll be in the middle.
Unfortunately, Stevie Wonder was a fixture of the Motown label in the 60s and 70s. With our next tune, the Oakwood Band gets funky with this classic tribute to Duke Ellington. We hope you enjoy Sir Duke. We conclude our tribute to Motown with a timeless hit from 1967. Feel free to get up and dance as the band performs Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Give it up one more time to the Oakwood High School Marching Band. Again, wants to say thank you to the Oakwood Marching Band for their performance this evening.
And to set this up so nobody else falls down. I'm not going to
Pictures are different than everyone else's. What do you shoot with? She's actually using my body right now.
Isn't it cool?
32 or 30? That's what I started with, 32. She did 2 seasons. Basketball shot. I was like, man, it's just not, real great. Yeah, it's not bad, it's just not real great with the dim light, and especially inside. So it's upgraded, especially if you don't have a high dollar lens. I couldn't even fit. I tried for the most part to shoot full game. But days like this where it just gets dark so quick, switch for a little bit to catch it. Especially with the first second going to school, like scoring like crazy. Everyone else in the school. Yeah. Mostly do see the pictures and sports. More of a I'm not at home. I get bored and just me and scenery. Sure, let's go to the meet.
Okay.
The middle is the greatest place.
Now taking the field for your continued halftime entertainment. Under the direction of band director Jimmy Galloway and field commander Will Henning, your 2017 Mariemont Marching Warriors.
Shows the title Pulled Up, Wait a Minute, featuring a song by the same name by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Shawn Mendes's There's Nothing Holding Me Back. Rihanna's Please Don't Stop the Music, and the eternal Michael Jackson's Gonna Be Starting Something. Next up, the band switches gears to feature the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Can't Stop, followed by the 2017 chart-topping hit by Alyssa, Cara, and Zed, Stay. Please enjoy.
Welcome back to ICRC-TV Sports Friday Night Football. Glenn Olson and Chris Asbrock with you from Kusel Stadium at Mariemont High School. Do want to extend our apologies to Josh Simstrot for missing the cue to his interview at the end of the first half. So, Josh, thanks for tracking down that interview for us, and hopefully I'll remember it at the end of the game. So, a little bit of a situation that you may not have seen as we cut to the half. Brady Holliday was down on the turf for quite a long time, Chris, and got up and walked off with assistance, but very gingerly making his way to the halftime. Actually delayed the bands getting onto the field. He was on the field getting treatment.
Yeah, I was wondering if that might have been a cramp. They were stretching him, and they did cart him, or he walked off, but then he was carted back on. He's been jogging over on the sidelines now, kind of getting ready here for the second half. And I'm curious to see what impact that actually will have on this Mariemont offense and defense, and see what they can do.
The only thing that gives me pause, Chris, is he was walking very gingerly. That wasn't a cramp kind of a walk. That was an ouchie, something really hurts kind of walk.
It was I know
to
it was
a technical medical term.
Yeah, ouchie is about as professional as you're going to get. I like that. No, but
not to laugh at the injury.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, in all seriousness, I mean, they were stretching like it was a cramp or maybe a hamstring type pull is kind of what it was, maybe looking like more. But for him to, like you said, the way he was walking off was pretty tough. And he's over on the sidelines now walking normal. So hopefully it was, maybe just a cramp to get him back as soon as he can. I mean, he's walking over on that far sideline. So we'll see what they can do for him, and hopefully he'll be all right.
Yeah, so just something to keep an eye on. And remember, Wally Rennie was hurt, nicked up a little bit in that first quarter too. He's moving a little gingerly. They split him out to the left side on that 1-yard touchdown run back in the second quarter as well, just because he's somewhat limited after being dinged up. So just a couple of injury things for the Warriors to keep an eye on. Certainly hope everybody's okay, and again, didn't mean to make light of the Holiday injury, just was trying to find the right words to describe how gingerly he was walking off the field after getting treatment after laying down on the field for several minutes. So here we go, underway with the second half. Lumberjacks kick it off. It's fielded by Casella back in the 5. He makes his way to the middle of the field, darts away from a couple tackles before finally being brought down at the 20-yard line. So nice return that time by number 4, the senior Daniel Casella.
And he's hurt too. He got up. Yeah, he's stretching right now too.
Yeah, just kind of curious. It's not hot today, so it's warm. Don't get me wrong. It was 80 degrees here today, so still obviously you can get dehydrated, but it's not like, some games in the past where you start with a 90-degree kickoff temperature, or games get moved like we had at Princeton one time because it was 100 degrees in the afternoon for a freshman and JV game.
Yeah, I'm watching Holiday over there on the far sideline. He was doing sprints on the track over there, so I'm looking. He's just stretched right now, so hopefully it looks like he'll be good to go.
Yeah, well, hopefully they were able to get him squared away. There's a quick pass out to the right by Rennie. It's going to fall incomplete off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Casella. A little push down on Casella. After the play, that'll get the jaws moving, I'm sure, in the next completion. You see just a little bit of a high pass off the fingertips of Casella, and there's the push after the play.
Yeah, it seemed a little out of rhythm on that play there, but again, kind of the same game plan for Mariemont here, kind of doing what they were doing, to end the half with the quick passes and everything like that.
Rennie, 2 in the backfield, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. There's a quick slant across the middle. It's going to be complete to Casella. Bring the ball out to the 25-yard line. So no major adjustments evident thus far. Mariemont electing to go with those quick passes, the screens out to the ends, and the slants across the middle.
It's one of those situations, if it ain't broke, don't fix. You don't fix it. And in this case here, it worked for them. They were able to hang 27 points on the Oakwood defense in the first half. So, it's probably best to keep rolling with it.
4 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Rennie by himself. There's another quick slant across the middle. That's caught, and that's probably going to go to the house. There's Casella. He's got to beat one man. Can he do it? Nope. He's going to get drugged down at the 7-yard line. So nice play call by the Mariemont Warriors. Daniel Casella on the slant, takes it down the left side, deep into Lumberjack territory. It'll be 1st and goal from inside the 10-yard line.
Well, Glenn, I mentioned it early on that it was a matter of time before something like this was going to happen, and it happened. I mean, the whole first half they were able to get that, that little bit of room on these quick slants, and sure enough, I mean, Daniel Casella, obviously he utilized his speed.
Nice job by Talarczyk to rein him in and prevent the touchdown. Rennie's going to roll out to his right. There's a quick pass all by himself out in the flat, and that is a touchdown. Way too easy by the Mariemont Warriors as that pass is complete to number 45, MJ Grismere.
That was impressive. You can't really say much as opposed,
just a great play call.
Exactly.
Exploited a hole in the defense.
That's, that's not the first time they've run that play so far this game. Going
to have a couple different angles for you. There's Grismere finishing off. You see there's not a white jersey anywhere around him. That's a blown covered somewhere, and there's a flag on the point after kick.
One thing that it was interesting to me, because like I said, this was not the first time they had made that play call this game in this situation, the short yardage situation. So I was kind of surprised that Oakwood, knowing that they've been bit on that, a couple times already, didn't even, seem to make a play there on that one as Grismere was, wide open. Nobody within 7 yards of him.
Substitution infraction, Mariemont. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
I even think our officials about tired of these extra point penalties. Did you see his body language after he threw that flag? So here we go again. So this time it's on the Warriors, and the penalty be assessed on the kickoff again.
I think I've seen more substitution infractions today than I have probably in my entire life watching football.
Cameron Hollander back for the point after try. High snap, placed cleanly, strong kick, and it's good. So with 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, almost at 1,040. Don't ask me why. Thought it was a work for a minute.
Hey, in all fairness, it's the first game of the year for us as well. So
I snuck in one in Kentucky last week, so I have no excuse.
That's on you then. That's all on you.
I'll admit to that.
I wouldn't have admitted that.
34-20 Warriors. 10:40 remaining in the third quarter.
I do want to address something before. Remember how right at the end of the half, Oakwood failed to convert and ended up having to run out the clock, and look what happened.
Right.
A touchdown there, or even some points, gives you some momentum. Instead, you put yourself behind the 8 ball, and now you're down 13 points here, or 14, I'm sorry, after the extra point. It's the little things like that that add up in a football game. And, it's because it's come down to the special teams plays that we've seen, that bit Oakwood earlier. And then, not being able to convert at the end of the half. It's things like that, can really snowball. And Mariemont is, got to give them full credit for taking advantage of it.
Yeah, the mistakes have piled up for the Lumberjacks tonight with the mental mistakes, too many men on the field, the substitution infractions, and blown coverages. And all of a sudden they trail by 40 again, but they've shown the resiliency and ability to get right back in the game when it's starting to look like all hope is lost. They only trail by 14. There's 24 minutes of football left to play. Or 22 minutes, nearly 23. Deep kickoff's going to be fielded at the 6, brought down the right sideline, and a quick step out of bounds for Capletti.
You saw he had no chance. There was that wall of blue and yellow right there, and he thought better to get out of bounds there.
Said, yeah, nowhere to go. We'll just step out here at the 20 and call it a day. Or call it a play. Probably be the better description. So Lumberjacks' first crack on offense. Let's see what adjustments they tried to make or were able to make in the locker room at the extended halftime. We had a little delay on the field with the injury to Holiday and some technical issues with one of the band performances. So pass is complete. Brought back toward the middle of the field on the far hash and tackled at the 25-yard line. Familiar name, Dylan Capletti.
Yeah, he's been quite the guy here the last couple minutes.
Yeah, a little shifty there. And that cut back toward the middle, gained a few extra yards out of it. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. It's going to be a run up the right side, keeping it on that far hash. will be good for a first down. 2nd and 4 and a gain of about that. Chains haven't moved yet. Yep, here they go now. So just enough. The ball's moved up to the Oakwood 34, as you probably heard our PA announcer say in the background. Clock down toward 10 minutes. There's a late pitch over to the right side and not able to turn the corner. There's the Mariemont defense.
Man.
Good job that time by number 58, Kyle Mason, bringing that play to an end, Chris.
Yeah, it was a good hit, too. You could see on the pitch, he just, he was just unable to get any real. Oh, we got to cut back to action there.
Hammond-Jarrow was on the last carry. This time, Irby's going to keep it himself and try the right side. And he's going to get out to the 45-yard line, and that'll be enough for a first down. So a couple of first downs, some sustainability here for the Lumberjacks. Their first offensive possession of the second half. Take a look at the replay. Nice little juke back, spin move to get a couple extra yards. Takes 4 defenders to bring him down. The 5th one to come in and polish it off. Irby back to pass.
Oh, he's got
Long's got his receiver wide open. That should
flag. There you go. I was going to say.
Yeah, there's a flag. Pass was intended for number 14. And that was, I don't know, almost Tommy Loon or Lunny. But obviously pass interference.
We're going to have an injury as well, too.
Yeah, hopefully that's just a cramp.
Yeah.
Injury nonetheless, but hopefully it's just a cramp. Here comes the trainer finally. The injury's on the near side of the field.
It's Alec Vianello, so that's that's a
it's someone you don't want.
Crucial cog for for the offense, and we'll see what.
He's back up on his feet.
Mariemont, it's a 15-yard penalty will result in a first down.
So a long pass play is going to result in a 15-yard gain after the incompletion and the pass interference penalty. There you see Vianello down on the ground, and
it's almost like the contact was because of the injury there. Like it, right at the end there, it caused him to stumble because it obviously wasn't. It was not a blatant, pass interference there. It looked like he was able. He just wasn't able to keep his balance, and he's being stretched out on the sidelines here right now.
Well, fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 from the Mariemont 40 for the Lumberjacks. Herb in the shotgun, long pass slant, complete across the middle despite the good coverage by Mariemont. We've got another Mariemont defender, looks like cramping up on the far side of the field. So all of a sudden the injury bug and the cramp bug is getting pretty prevalent for the guys in blue and yellow. All blue and yellow helmets, I should say.
Yeah, we got team doctors here going back and forth. Looks like Dr. Steve Spreen, possibly, if I got that right, having to go back and forth here from one sideline to the other. I can't really tell who that was that went down the second time, but.
Yeah, not able to get a good look at the injured player. It's on the field over between the 30 and 25 of the Warriors on the far hash near the Mariemont bench. Clock stops at 9:06, 34-20 in favor of the Warriors, but the Lumberjacks, with a combination of penalties and good play calling, have found themselves with a little bit of momentum here, Chris. There's a shot of Vianello working off that cramp over on the Mariemont sideline. He's going to jog gingerly back out onto the field while the injured player is still being tended to. And Jay Grismer is out looking at that injured player, very concerned about his teammate. He'll make his way back to the defensive huddle now as the training staff continues to work on that injured player.
One thing that's kind of interesting is, you tend to see these situations arise more here in the first, week or two, just because you're not used to that conditioning of the, of the hitting. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. As much as you think it would be. Let's see, he's getting up now. Who is it? Still can't get a really good look. Oh, it's
number 4, and that's Daniel Casella, who's been a pretty important cog in this game tonight.
Yeah, that's an injury you can't really afford to have. Vianello's back now. He's gonna be on the bottom part of your screen, lined up, facing Talarczyk. So that's gonna be an interesting matchup. And then are they gonna go? Nope.
Not a whole lot happening for Irby up the middle there. Good job by the Mariemont defense of clogging up those gaps. 2nd and 11, a loss of 1 on the play. There you see Irby tries to tuck it and run, and just not a whole lot there. Irby again is going to keep it himself, tries to zigzag through traffic. He's going to work his way up to around the 16-yard line of the Warriors. Clock continues to run. Luis Hernandez in on the stop for the Warriors. A little more deliberate play calling here by the Lumberjacks, not going so much tempo the way they were trying to do in the first half, Chris.
Yeah, they're real not complacent, but trying to think of the best way to put. Oh, nice.
Yeah, Irby thought he might pitch that, but just had to tuck it back in, and he's going to slither his way for a first down on the far side of the field, and that'll stop the clock at 7:55, thanks to him working his way out of bounds.
Yeah, that was great recognition there not to pitch that ball, because if he does, play's either going to get blown up or it's going to, there's going to be a possible turnover. So, it was a great job of tucking it, and he was able to advance, for the first down. So great job there by Irby to make something out of nothing there.
Movement, looked like no flag, I guess, but looked like early movement by the Warriors. Almanjero is going to advance the ball up to the 2-yard line. So slow and steady progress here by the Lumberjacks. Take a look at the replay. This way, fighting his way through traffic, finding some narrow holes, stepping through sideways. Clock's approaching 7:20 in the third now. It's just going to move the pile ahead on a keeper for Irby.
He's in.
Touchdown for the Oakwood Lumberjacks. Lumberjacks definitely have a knack for answering, Chris.
You got to give them a lot of credit. They're not backing down. Anytime they face the adversity so far, they've been able to rise up and answer, in a productive way, and that's what they've done so far. Each time it's they haven't let it get out of hand, which I think is crucial. Obviously, in a game like this, because it's easy for the adversity they faced so far to easily fold up and just kind of roll over and go home, but they haven't. And he missed it.
And that's going to be running into the kicker flag or foul of some sorts. So Mariemont brought the heat, and unfortunately it's going to backfire that time. As Chris said, the kick was missed, but the kicker was brought to the ground as a result of contact. Referees continue to sort it all out on the field here. Matt Sanford, of course, the kicker for the Oakwood Lumberjacks. Here's jersey number 1. Still trying to sort things out. No official word from the officials yet. Looks like the Lumberjacks know what they're going to do once the referees take care of their business and put the ball back in play.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, Mariemont. Half distance to the goal, replay the try.
That'll move the ball half the distance to the goal, and you'll replay the extra point attempt. So he's going to get a couple of yards closer, which never hurts, but sometimes it can be a little bit of a disadvantage as well. And to Probably a good thing he was a little bit closer that time because that barely cleared the crossbar.
Woo.
So like I said, sometimes being closer is not the best thing in the world. And I don't know if he had to alter the way he kicked that ball, but it just kind of snuck across that crossbar.
I think he may have had to because Marshawn Curtis was coming through. He was coming through hot. So
34-27, back to a 1-touchdown lead with the extra point for the homestanding Mariemont Warriors. Clock stopped at 7:17. Good shot of the crowd. First home game of the year for the Mariemont faithfuls. They kick off the 2017 campaign with high hopes. Warriors finished 8-2 last year, missed the playoffs in a very competitive Division 5, but I think they might have something for perennial contender Wyoming and the always dangerous Indian Hill this year, Chris.
Well, when you bring back as much experience as they are, you're really going to rely on that experience. Going into a season where you're coming off of a year, like you said, 8-2, missing the playoffs, which is stunning. To have that great of a record, but it was such a competitive division that, fortunately, they just didn't make it. I mean, 8-2 finished third in the league. That's saying something. It's going to come down to the fact that they're just going to rely on that experience and can, hopefully build off that momentum of that 8-2 2016 season. Oh.
A little pop kick. It's going to have to be fielded by the up man, so still no clear indication who's coming up with it. Mariemont's saying they have it, but not a bad play call at all. On special teams that time by the Lumberjacks. Thought maybe they could sneak one in and get good field position.
Yeah, sometimes making sure your opponent's on their toes is a good a good way to handle some things. Is
that a flag down at the 46?
It
right
is.
On the 45?
It is. So I was trying to figure out what that would be.
Well, again, the referees are earning their paycheck tonight. Trying to sort out what's been happening here on a few different occasions. Still waiting the official word from Murray Stahl.
Illegal procedure. Oakwood, not enough guys on both sides of the kicker. Penalties declined. It'll be first down Mariemont from here.
He's no Ed Hockley, but I'll take it short and sweet. Not enough guys on either side of the kicker. Hockley would have gave us a dissertation.
Yeah, but Hockey, and the best part about it, good old E85, he flexes those biceps. There's nothing. Good old Ed.
So, mistake for the Lumberjacks. Mariemont with good field position. Rennie pump fakes, got a receiver deep. Pass is complete. 10-5 touchdown. Beautiful play call by the Mariemont Warriors. And Charlie Cowart takes the pass off the pump fake straight to the house for Mariemont.
That was that was impressive. Great pump fake there.
Yep.
And you have the size of Charlie Cowart. I mean, the size and strength that he possesses. I mean, it's a mismatch for most defenders. I mean, they exploited it. Next thing you know,
pump fake gave Cowart just enough time to get past Dinkler, and Rennie dropped it right in his breadbasket. So here comes the powerful leg once again of Cameron Hollander.
It's good.
No doubt about that one. So 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter, 41-27. How many points have we seen scored here in 5 minutes, Chris?
It was
quite the adventure.
Was it 27-20 at the half?
Yeah,
I was going to say.
Yeah. So just
21 points in 5 minutes is pretty impressive.
A series of bang plays for sure. Yeah, 27-20 at the half.
Yeah. I mean, to the majority, I mean, if you look at, let's look at this play here. I mean, look at Rennie. Beautiful punt. Well, he just.
Yeah, you see those two linemen give up on it, and they saw him bring the ball back up. Yeah. I know you can't knock the quarterback down after he's released the ball, but there's something to be said for attempting to play through the whistle as well.
Exactly, man. Connor Dinkler had no chance on that one. He just, the size of Charlie Cowart, and definitely took advantage of it. So,
yeah, just textbook pump fake that time by Wally Renner to get the defensive lineman to give up, and it bought himself a couple extra seconds. And as we said, pop it right in the breadbasket of Cowart. Not much else you can say.
No, it's been an impressive performance so far tonight by the Mariemont offense. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Deep kick by Hollander. It's going to be fielded right at the 1. He was a yard shy of sticking that one in the end zone for another touchback.
Uh-oh.
Flag's going to come in from behind. This one may be coming back, I would venture to say, Chris. Nice return, nonetheless, by Dylan Capletti, but flag came in from way behind the play, so I think it's going to be coming back.
Holding, number 10, Oakwood, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Holding call indeed on the Lumberjacks. Will bring back, nullify a very nice return. Number 10 is Timmy Duvik. Apologize if I butchered the name. 41-27, 6:52 remaining. Good return, wiped out by a penalty. So instead of being up near Mariemont territory, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lumberjacks at their own 15-yard line. Holding penalty on the play. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom, empty backfield for Irby. He's going to try to roll out to his right side. Good coverage by the Mariemont defense. Irby was looking for a flag, as is the center, still standing with his arms in disbelief in the middle of the field, but Yellow Hanky staying in the pockets at this point. Stay out there with your arms in the air long enough, you might see one. Irby looked to be moving on that draw play before the ball was even snapped. But nice job advancing the ball by Josh Amangero. 1st down and more for the Lumberjacks. Yeah, it definitely looked to me like the quarterback was moving. I'm not going to see it here because of the timing, but it looked to me like Irby was moving before the ball got to him. Moving forward. Irby's going to keep it himself, tries a little sidestep. Maybe he's going to get a yard. Not a whole lot there. Good job of contained by the Mariemont defense.
I'm liking what Oakwood's doing here by stepping up and kind of upping the tempo here, trying to get things, really going and kind of trying to wear out this Mariemont defense.
After they were being very deliberate on the last series. So Mason and Curtis on that last stop. Here goes the home run ball.
Wow.
Nice job of hauling that football in by Brendan Talarczyk. He's going to advance it down inside the 20-yard line. So a heck of a play call. You just said it. Very, very deliberate play calling, and then switch it up a little bit and maybe catch a defense off guard. So big gainer. 1st and 10. Run up the middle. He's going to advance the ball up to the 15-yard line for Amangero. You realize you're watching this on tape delay, but Pat McLaughlin area gets off to a good start over on North Bend Road for the LaSalle Lancers. They defeat the Colerain Cardinals 7-3.
Yeah, that's a big win for them right there to get the season going.
Yep, can't count out those Lancers. They got all kinds of talent and a heck of a quarterback guru and coach in Pat McLaughlin, who's familiar to our ICRC viewers. Back to live action. Swing pass out to the left side. Not really is going to go a whole lot on the completion to Capletti. He's going to get up a little gingerly. Approaching the 5-10 mark. 14-point lead for the Warriors.
Yeah, I really like what Oakwood's doing right now. Like I said, they're really adjusting the tempo on whether they're going, quick. They're slowing it down, speeding it up, slowing it down. They're going off balance here pretty much in the tempo and really forcing Mariemont to stay out there.
3 receivers at the bottom, 1 at the top, 1 man in the backfield. Quick pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. I swear that was one of the Curtis brothers. got a hand on that. Marshawn Curtis, indeed it was. He's a towering figure out there on that line, and you saw it right there. Look at that.
Well, as an offensive lineman, what are you supposed to do? Keep your hands down. As a defensive lineman, if you can't get there, you get your hands up. And Marshawn Curtis, once again, making his presence felt in this game so far.
Called his name a bunch tonight. He's been a key player, that's for sure. Herbie's going to roll out. He likes to keep it as his receivers are covered. He's going to try to spin off one defender, but reinforcements arrive, and he's going to be brought down at the 15-yard line, 5 yards shy. So on a 4th and 7, it's going to be a lot of running for a gain of 2.
Well, you can tell he was wanting to throw the ball. As you look here at the replay, he rolls out, and he wanted to throw, and everything just broke down. It was great coverage there by the Mariemont defense, and it just, everything broke down. And fortunately, Herbie had nowhere to go, and Mariemont capitalizes, and they get the ball back here. 4:39 to go, and with a chance to really make a statement here in this third quarter.
See Herbie getting some coaching over on the sideline. Like I said, just a lot of running that time. Only resulted in a couple yards. So turnover on downs. The Warriors will take the field. 4 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Empty backfield for Rennie. Clock stopped at 4:39 as we await the snap. A little bit of a high snap. Rennie pulls it in. Pop across the middle. A little miscommunication there. Looked like he was trying to get the ball over to Casella. And Casella ran past the point where the ball was targeted. So a little miscommunication, as I said. Bring up 2nd and 10. Clock stops at 4:35.
Looked like he could have had Charlie Coward on the sideline. Well, there's a mismatch here. Coward on a linebacker, so we'll see what they. Oh no, they're gonna hand it off.
Going to hand it off, and flag.
I was gonna say it was flag, yeah, because
Vianello took the handoff, but the play is blown off by the referee's whistle.
False start, number 75, Mariemont.
So one of the offensive
5-yard
linemen,
penalty,
Luis
still
Hernandez, a
second down.
senior for the Warriors, guilty of the false start. Back the Warriors up 5 yards. Probably a good thing there was a penalty. A little bit of bobble on that exchange there. Maybe Rennie knew that the flag was coming and was kind of surprised that Vianello had continued on to take the football. So 2nd and 15. In the shadow of their own end zone. Hand off to Vianello. He thinks about going to the left, cuts back over to his right, and he's forced out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And I can tell you the Mariemont coaches next to us were not happy.
Yeah, they were definitely wanting a different result out of that play there.
Yeah, as soon as he cut back, that's when that's when they got frustrated.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, right there, that's about when the hand slapped the desk.
Headsets almost came off and everything.
There's a little pass complete to Coward on a slant. Gonna bring the ball out to the 28-yard line.
Again, using a play that's worked for him all night long.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised that Oakwood's not changed things up to cover those slants better. I mean, they've covered the screens well enough for the most part. Not that they've covered all of them 100%, but man, the slants have just been eating them alive tonight.
Well, that's one thing we noticed, early in the second quarter, that it was, really getting them.
Vianello nearly tripped on his own feet. Flag comes in from the referee behind the play. That's usually a hold or a false start. I'm assuming it's a hold, and there it is.
Yep.
So the offense give it, the referee taketh away.
Been the story of the evening, outside of the, all the points we've seen so far. But
number 57, Mariemont. Penalty, repeat, down.
Well, there you heard our official, Murray Stahl, call out the hold. Foul on the Warriors. It's going to back them up. So now they're still going to need to get up to the 37-yard line, but the ball is going to be placed back around the 18. So it's first in a bunch. There He tried to go that slant again and thrown just a little bit ahead of the receiver that time, or maybe the receiver head into a little bit of traffic, just trying to get it to Charlie Cowart.
But one thing you're going to be able to see is, they've worked that slant a good amount, and I'm telling you, it's going to open. It's going to end up opening up that deep pass that they've capitalized on so far for the huge plays. Look for them to continue to work that slant and then go over the top and hit them over the top deep.
Clock stopped at 3:37. 2nd and 20 for Mariemont. Fakes the handoff. There's the slant again. It was tipped down at the line of scrimmage by number 5, Sam Delator. So 3rd and 20. So that penalty proving to be very costly, Chris, unless the Warriors are able to convert on this 3rd and long.
Well, we've seen them do it before. We saw them do it earlier.
Definitely not counting them out. Just saying it's a little more difficult than the situation you were facing a couple minutes ago.
Well, I think in any other situation, I would probably, I'd be a little more, skeptical about them. But the way they've hit the big play so far tonight, I mean, you can't really count too much out.
I almost wonder if, you've been gone away from the screen more to the slant. They've started to figure out the slant. Maybe you don't try to hit a home run ball here. Maybe a big gainer. Get yourself a fresh set of downs. That's going to be a handoff to Vianello. He's going to cut back across the field, but it's going to run right into pressure, so it's going to be well short of the first down as he's brought down near the 24-yard line. As we said earlier, needed to get up to around the 37. So, maybe just a field position play, give your punter a little bit of room, and live to fight another day by the Warriors.
One thing I've noticed, and they've done it the last couple of plays, Oakwood has actually shifted and they've put Charlie Burke. So you got a defensive lineman slash linebacker. He's been out pretty much on press coverage, covering Charlie Cowart to put good contact on him and blowing him up right at the line to keep him from making any big plays.
41-27. Clock down to 2:40. Cameron Hollander back to punt. Going to burn off some seconds here. Good snap. Not much of a rush. Fantastic kick, though. Has to back up the returner. And it's going to take a Warrior bounce back to the 10-yard line where it's going to be picked up by Capletti. Can't believe he picked that up, but I guess he wanted to get it out past the 20, which he does out to the 22-yard line. But what a boot by Cameron Hollander, Chris.
That was incredible. He put a good amount of leg into that one and sent that one deep. He picked that one up around like the 5 or 6. Here's a great. He picked it up at the 10 or 11-yard line. He had actually a really good return. He was able to return it up to the 23, 24-yard line.
Yeah.
So good on him. But, like you said, I was a little surprised he picked it up. So huge punt, flipping field position, which is obviously crucial in a game like this where it's been such, back and forth. Great job.
And that's exactly what the Warriors wanted to do. So 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom, 1 in the backfield. Irby, boy, I tell you, that's a nice run up the middle. That's going to be a big gainer out past the 45-yard line. But I'm telling you, I swear he's moving before that ball gets to him.
You know what? I've noticed that, and you've mentioned it a couple times.
You can't move forward, right? You can move vertically, or is it you need to be the line of scrimmage to move forward?
I'll see there.
Didn't do it that time, but it's a pass play. It's a designed pass. The pass is complete out to the left side on the screen. We'll bring the ball out to midfield, maybe just a little bit across. Pass is complete to Capletti. Cowart with the tackle. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. 1:43 remaining. There's a screen to the right side this time, keeping the Warriors guessing as to which side of the field they're going to go to. That was complete. Run out of bounds by Charlie Cowart.
Yeah, Oakwood definitely now in the sub-tempo offense has done a lot better job of making things, happen for him offensively.
Last pass was complete to Jake Sargent. There's a run up the middle.
First
Be
down.
good for a first down and 2 more yards after that. This clock will stop at 1:16 while the chains are moved. Boy, the staff on the Oakwood sideline full of energy right now. They smell an opportunity here to get back to within 1 score. They want the ball snapped quickly. Herbie, back to pass. Plenty of time. Steps up away from the pressure, but into the waiting arms. Number 57 for the Warrior defense.
Yeah, Oakwood doing a really good job. Like I said, I can't help but harp on it more. I mean, they're doing a great job of that up-tempo offense. Because there we go. See?
Back to live action. A nice run up the middle by Irby. Boy, he's finding some holes to move through right now. And again, this Oakwood coaching staff pretty excited with what they're seeing on the field. The ball's advanced up to the 20-yard line. So think about it. We've gone 80 yards so far, Chris, in a little over a minute.
Yeah, but all matters is if you can capitalize on it. So we'll see. They've failed a couple times.
Herbie, all kinds of time. There's a dart complete to the 5-yard line. So that'll be 1st and goal.
Beautiful catch there by Dylan Caplay.
Yeah, boy, that ball was just thrown on a rope, as they say. All kinds of time. Good pass, tight spiral. Down to the 6. Well, the 5 officially. Herbie's going to hand off, and that's going to be waltz into the end zone time for Josh Amangero. Touchdown Oakwood. So great drive, going tempo, paid off for the Lumberjacks. And they find the end zone, 41-33, 2:46 remaining.
Yeah, that was a great answer for Oakwood there. As you know, they had to go a good 75 plus yards. So, good on them for really adjusting to what's worked so far. And they did a great job and were able to march all the way down. And
point after try for Jake Sargent. He got it. A little bit high, a little bit to the left, but it snuck in through that left upright. Room to spare, so back to a 7-point lead for Mariemont, 41-34, 2:46 remaining. I'll say it again, that was a heck of a drive by Oakwood. I mean, that was an 80-yard touchdown drive.
Yeah, it came at a crucial point right at the end. Right at the end of the quarter. I mean, you had a little over 2 minutes when they had when they got the ball back. And were able to again. I mean, they went to that up tempo and went after it. And it paid off, and it's paid off every time that they've gone to it. Because we saw, in the last drive that they had not this one, but the one before that, where they were going, up tempo, and then they'd slow it down a little bit, then up tempo, kind of definitely keeping Mariemont off balance, and they just went straight up tempo here and really kept them from making really a lot of defensive substitutions and keeping their guys on the field, and it definitely paid off. So we're in for an interesting remainder of this game with 75 total points hung on the board so far.
Yeah, just misspoke earlier. I said they moved 80 yards in about a minute. It was 60 yards in about a minute, but it didn't take them long to get the other 20 to find the end zone for the 80 yards. So.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah, great. Can't say it enough. Just a very good methodical drive that time by Oakwood with the very strategic play calling, keeping Mariemont off balance with tempo and shifting sides of the field. Kick will be caught just inside the 10-yard line. Turn's going to go up the middle by number 4, Casella. He's going to be brought down around the 26, 27-yard line.
The Oakwood sideline in front of us is really they're pretty jolly right now. You can tell they've got some momentum on their side.
Well, they've got some things to be excited about,
They
Chris.
do. They do.
They finally made a defensive adjustment on that slant pattern that Mariemont had been running. It ate them up a little bit, and some good off-balance play calling there to keep Mariemont on their toes and get them a little winded. So, long way from over. We still got 15 seconds left here in the third quarter and 12 more minutes to play after that. 2 men in the backfield, 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom for Rennie. Going to change things up. That's a nice little play call right there. Thought it was going to go to Vianello, and it goes to Cowart. Correction on that. That was 22, Sebastian Kreidler. Little cross-up play in the back. I think it's going to Vianello. That's the end of the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's Mariemont 41, Oakwood Lumberjacks 34. Watching Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV Sports. Well, Chris, we going to get to 100 total points in this game? We got 12 minutes to do it. We're at 75 right now.
Well, Glenn, to be honest with you, we're going. We both just had to take a seat here in the booth. I mean, it's been one of those games that'll wear you out. I mean, it is. This is it's only been back and forth, and I'm telling you what, it would not surprise me if we see triple digits hung up on here total in this game.
Yeah, very fast-moving first quarter. Things slowed down in the second, and then very slow, methodical third quarter with a lot of pass plays there that stopped the clock and penalties. So, yeah, we've already seen some games go final. I mean, we had a 7 o'clock kick here. Coleraine LaSalle are already done, and we're just starting quarter number 4.
Well, some of that was due to the band issue at the half.
A couple minutes. Maybe 2 minutes they added back on.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, Ohio went to you get through your halftime period and then you put a 3-minute warm-up period on the clock, and there was a couple-minute delay in getting that second 3 minutes started. So both teams were on the field when the band was finishing up.
That is true.
Hard to get football players out of a routine, right? There's a nice run up to the 40-yard line. Vianello gets a carry. Take a look at it here. Again, that little cross him up in the backfield. Who's going to end up with the ball?
A little misdirection there. It was well done now. Vianello hobbling off the field. He's hopping pretty good. It's another injury.
Yeah. Not what the Mariemont faithful want to see. Not even through game number 1 yet. The amount of nicks and things they've racked up tonight, cramps, so forth.
Well, good thing is, I was going to say, Brady Holiday is back in the game. He's in the backfield now. So it's good to see him come back.
So getting a little more action tonight as a result of some of these injuries we've talked about. Sebastian Kreidler, he's a sophomore, 5'10", 180. Runs with a little more authority than that.
Yeah, that he does. You can see. He's a physical runner too. He just lowers that shoulder and he's willing to hit and dish out that punishment. So
16 carries for 65 yards in the 2016 campaign, averaging about 4 yards a carry with 1 touchdown last year. Looking to get a little more playing time this year, and he's just a sophomore, as I just mentioned. Ball goes to Holiday that time.
Freeman Whitaker with a great tackle there was able to wrap up. Look at this here. Beautiful wrap up there on Holiday. He was not going to let him go anywhere. Textbook tackle there.
So 3rd and 5, technically a 3rd and long kind of situation here for the Warriors, staying with it. 2 back in the backfield formation. There's a little misdirection again.
Man, look at that.
Holiday takes it that time and barrels his way up. It's going to be real close to a first down. If they don't give it to him, they're going to be measuring for it.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
They gave it to him, yeah.
Yeah, that was a powerful run. Nothing was going to stop him on that one. He was just going to continue to go.
Said it a couple times, but a good adjustment for Mariemont, bringing in the 2 backs and running those mixed direction plays back there to keep Oakwood guessing, and it's working so far. It's slow but steady progress, but Mariemont has the lead, so they can afford to bleed a little clock.
Exactly.
As long as they keep moving the ball forward.
I'm impressed with both teams and the way they've handled, the adjustments being made in this game. They're, both teams have done a great job adjusting their offenses.
Yeah, just when you think a handoff's coming, Rennie's going to pop one down the field, but we're going to go right back to it that time with the handoff to Holiday. He's going to try the right side, and he's going to pick up about 4 yards. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 6. Clock continues to run, 9:20.
That outside seems to be there a lot more than what it was earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Could just be a fact that looks like, exhaustion may just be setting in a little bit, tired legs, not able to get out there as quick as you were, earlier in the first and second quarter.
Well, these teams have been practicing since July 31st as a full unit.
Yep.
First day in Ohio this year, so we've had plenty of time to get acclimated, but still nothing like live game reps. And Kreidler with a nice carry out inside the 40, well past the First down marker at the 39 will be spotted at the 36. So Kreidler, gets his opportunity here in the second half and definitely making the most of it for the Warriors. And still not convinced they're not just setting up a long pass play here. Lull the Lumberjacks into some complacency with these misdirections and then take a shot downfield. But the clock keeps marching, 8:30 now, 41-34. ICRC-TV Sports Friday Night Football. Glenn Olson, Chris Asbrock, Jason Dudley in the truck. Go back to Kreidler. They're starting to catch on to him a little bit, maybe 2 yards that time. We'll set up a 2nd and 8 after a gain of 2, and there's a timeout for an injured Mariemont Warrior on the field. Not what you want to see is another injury, and he's waving the training staff out. It's not a cramp. He needs some attention.
Yeah, that's Kreidler.
Yeah, kind of thought that might be.
Yep.
It's cramping, though, yeah. You see his teammate, number 4, Casella, trying to help stretch him out, but he definitely needed some help from the training staff. He waved him out in a hurry. Whatever was that hamstring was hurting him bad. So hydration is key for all you young athletes. Not pointing fingers at the Warriors, but just as a word of caution. And it starts the night before. It's not game day. It absolutely starts the night before.
Yeah, you got to get your body ready.
Coached enough not whole baseball 90-degree summer days. Tell the parents, give your kids Gatorade at night, not in the morning. You need to get the body hydrated the night before a contest. But very physical game, to say the least. A lot of changes in tempo, quick running. I mean, it's been an action-packed game once we got through the penalty and punt fest in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that once both teams, they were, once they got a little familiar with each other and then were able to settle into a rhythm, it really became quite the football game.
Well, we knew Mariemont was going to be good coming into this game, so it's not a surprise. But, we saw the screens, and then we saw the slants, and now we're seeing the misdirection. I mean, it's, if you're a Mariemont opponent this year, the remaining 9 weeks of the season, they can keep a defensive coordinator up at night figuring out, okay, how are we going to stop things here?
Well, that's the beauty of this team. I mean, they've, come in, like I said, off an 8-2 season. And you can definitely tell if you can get something going here early on in this season, you can roll that momentum into some huge league games. And, oh, wow.
Well, there was the fake handoff and the quick pass, and it's deflected at the line of scrimmage. So there was the pass we've been waiting for off the fake handoff. And if you're a Lumberjack fan, you kind of liked having that guy in the right place at the right time. Was Hall of Fame induction night here at Kusel Stadium before the game got underway. Congratulations to Coach Don Brooks, Miss Lee Fisher, the class of 2011, and Mr. Nate Wagner, the class of 2012, inducted into the Doc Kusel Hall of Fame here at Mariemont tonight. Rennie, all his receivers are covered up, elects it to keep it, slips through one tackle, still on his feet, and he's limping just a little bit. And he's going to be forced out of bounds near the 25-yard line. There's a flag down near the 30. And Rennie in a little bit of agony there.
Yeah, he got up hurting a little bit on that one, too.
I think it was right there. Maybe just lost his shoe. Maybe he's not hurt, but had a defender with trying to get him down by the ankles, and he was able to slip away from it. And maybe got the flat tire there. Maybe did cramp up a little bit. And yeah, noticeable limp there.
Block in the back, number 52, Mariemont.
So there's a block in the back on Jacob, talking over the official. Jacob Gunner, guilty party for the Warriors. The block in the back, so it's going to nullify the good run and the potential injury to Super Junior Wally Rennie. Charlie Cowart makes his way back out onto the field now. Gets the play call from Rennie. He's going to stay out on the field. The team's kind of milling about. Mariemont breaks kind of their gaggle. Wasn't really a huddle, more of a gaggle. Rennie wants a quick snap. He gets it. He's going to pass. Here comes the pressure, and he's just going to go ahead and take a knee. and go to the turf before he got hurt, because let me tell you something. That number 5 was coming in on a rail, Sam Delator. I mean, he came in untouched and was smelling blood in the water. Sorry to use that cliche again, but
you can just see
his eyes must have been as big as saucers when he saw what was sitting in front of him there.
Well, anytime you got a quarterback who's hobbled a little bit as a defender, I mean, you're salivating at the chance to really get him. And smart move by Rennie to just to go down and take the sack. Hopefully live another down.
Yeah,
so he's hobbling over there on the sideline pretty good.
Yeah, well, a couple different issues there at play. The injury in the first quarter, and then trying to slip away from that defender over there. He came up limping a little more noticeably. So we'll see what Hollander can do here, if he's going to try to put it through the end zone, or if he's going to try to place one in the corner here. He's got the strength.
Mariemont, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Delay a game by design, I would think, just to give yourself 5 more yards. And the ball is going to be snapped. Was up from around the 45-yard lines now, or inside the between the 45 and 50 in Oakwood territory. Excuse me. Now will be back same spot in Mariemont territory. So give Hollander 5 more yards and opportunity maybe to place a punt here. Here comes the rush. Hollander gets it away. A little bit of boot. It's going to be fielded at the 15-yard line.
Oh, man.
Nice cut back across the field. The defense is going to have to catch up, which they do. Nice job that time by Charlie Cowart to track down the return man, grab him by the shoulder pads, and bring him down.
Yeah, I was expecting a flag there for a horse collar.
That looked like he had him pretty cleanly by the pads. I don't think he went inside the jersey.
Didn't look like it, no.
Yeah, Capletti just not a whole lot of room to work with there.
That was a good tackle.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought he had him on the pads.
Well, the way tonight's gone, I mean, we've seen so many flags, you just kind of condition yourself to it.
Hey, we got 6.5 left. There's plenty of time for more penalties.
Oh, we'll see plenty of them. Don't worry.
41-34.
Let's see here what Oakwood does if they continue to go back to that high tempo offense.
Head 3 to the top. Man goes in motion. Pass is going to be complete out on the screen to Dinkler. He's going to pick up maybe 6 or 7 yards. I don't think it's quite 8.
MJ Greismer, he came off his defender to play the screen, and receiver just popped right in the slot, which was his guy, and was able to find. We got another. Hey, see, here we go, more flags.
Before the snap.
Got a snap infraction, number 53, Oakwood. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So Jake Collars with a snap infraction. Three to the top, 1 to the bottom, 1 in the backfield. Pass will be complete out to right around the 1st down marker. Complete to Dinkler. He's going to advance the ball out to the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. Another 1st down for the Lumberjacks coming after the penalty in the snap infraction. So kind of a no harm, no foul penalty. Dinkler's been a valuable receiver tonight. Turnover, and Mariemont's excited. And there's the indication they got the ball back. So a mistake by Oakwood when they seem to have a little head of steam going is going to give the ball right back to the Warriors. See if they not be able to correct some of their mistakes from that last offensive drive and try to extend their lead here with 5:50 remaining in the contest.
Let's see what actually happened there.
Whatever happened quick, because I think we all missed it.
Because it was just a pile, and the next thing you know, you see the whole Mariemont sideline going crazy.
So Rennie limping, not terribly, but noticeable limp nonetheless. Something to keep an eye on. 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. 1 in the backfield. I think there's a little bit of confusion about the offensive formation out there, and the Warriors are going to wisely take a timeout. I think Casella was kind of waving with his hand of, hey,
Timeout, Mariemont.
Something's not right here. So better for Mariemont to take the timeout, get on the same page, and be assessed the penalty.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to call that timeout, and like you said, kind of get things squared away.
Well,
especially when you're trying to, we're down a little over 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes left on the clock, only up by a score. As much clock you can bleed as possible. I mean, that's obviously best case scenario here for Mariemont. It does give Oakwood a nice little breather to where they can try and get everything all set up and continue to to try and stop this Mariemont offense, who's done a great job moving the ball up and down the field so far.
I'd rather take that timeout halfway through the final quarter than at the very beginning of the final quarter. Make sure we're all on the same page, and an opportunity here. You've got decent enough field position after the turnover. You're on the 46-yard line. Let's make sure we're all good. I think it's a good timeout.
Definitely. There's going to be a hold.
Yep. Flag comes in from the backfield on the handoff to Vianello. He never could quite turn the corner despite the hold. And that flag came in fairly early before he even got out to the right side, to turn that corner.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy call there on that hold. I mean,
fans are getting feisty here late in the game.
Back in the back, Mariemont decline, second down.
So they will let the penalty go unassessed and take the loss of down and the loss of yardage. Second and a bunch for the Warriors with the ball at their own 49-yard line. They need to get up to the Oakwood 36. Handoff to Vianello. Crosses midfield. He's going to be brought down at the 48-yard line.
Mariemont just content of just running the football here and
7-point lead.
Exactly.
Lead the clock. Hey, Hollander, kick a field goal, right? Kid's got a leg.
He does.
When you get 20, 30 more yards, absolutely. Be deliberate. Keep the ball in the middle of the field.
Everything's
pick up a few yards. If a play breaks,
Everything's to your advantage right now, so.
See the three to the top, one to the bottom, one in the backfield with Rennie. He's going to hand off to Vianello, who's going to fight his way down about the original line of scrimmage and maybe just a little inside the 46-yard line. Now it's decision time, 4th and 9. Vianello just not a whole lot of room there. Tried to cut back and find some room to work with, and now Oakwood takes a timeout. Keep Mariemont from burning off a few more precious seconds as they trail by 7 points. So setting the scene, 41-34 Mariemont, 4:31 on the clock. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Oakwood calls the timeout with Mariemont facing a 4th and 9 from the Oakwood 45-yard line.
Yeah, here comes the X factor now that we've seen make some plays already. Dylan Caplet, the special teams wonder so far tonight for Oakwood. He's done, he had the 95-yard kickoff return for the touchdown earlier. He's made some plays, on special teams. So look for him to make a play here and see what, depending on what the game plan is for Mariemont. I mean, I would imagine you're going to look to have them obviously punt towards the sidelines to keep the ball out of his hands and obviously try and pin them deep.
They'll take another delay game. Well, it's a timeout. I guess it'd be hard to. But they might want to get themselves 5 more yards to work with. Nearly a high snap. Here comes the pressure, and boy, did Holland barely get that one off.
He touched it. It was tipped, so.
It's going to take an Oakwood roll back up toward the 20-yard line before it's finally down by the Warriors. So could have been near a disaster there for Mariemont, especially coming out of the timeouts, as Hollander had to go get that one, and the heat was coming from the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, here's the replay here. Look and see.
Yeah, boy, very nearly a block.
Yeah, that was dangerously close. So with 4:21 to go, Oakwood's done, like I said, they've switched to that up-tempo offense.
Looked like a quick pass. Receivers were coming up. He's going to tuck it and keep it, and he's going to lose a yard or two. Tick, tick, tick. Approaching 4 minutes now. Good shot of Brian Irby, the senior quarterback. For 145 attempts, 250 completions on 254 attempts last year. Excuse me, screwed that all up. And the Mariemont defense comes up big. And there's old reliable Marshawn Curtis bring a stop to things. So let's try this again. Last year, Irby 145 of 254 for just under 2,100 yards. Average 8.2 yards a pass, completed 57% of them. Good quarterback. Wow. And ran right into the waiting arms of Kyle Mason. A huge sack. Big momentum shift here in this contest as Oakwood tries to even the score, but the Mariemont defense steps up and comes up with the big plays when it mattered. First Curtis and now Mason.
I was just going to say, big players come up in big situations in big games. So, you know, you got a defense here who's come out absolutely on fire this drive.
Man, you got fourth in the drive back to Dayton right now. He's punting near his own back end line. It's not a good punt at all. And it's going to roll backwards, take a Mariemont bounce back toward the 25-yard line before it rolls out of bounds. So not a good punt. He'd been able to get that roll all night, and when he needed it the most, it goes the other way, Chris.
Yeah, it's quickly gone south for Oakwood here in this last minute or so. They just they can't seem to get anything going. Yeah, and, man, it's tough.
Jake Sargent very upset. As we said, in the first half and even in the third quarter, I guess, he was punting the ball very well and getting those Oakwood rolls. But, boy, when he needed it most, he kicked it high and backspin brought it back toward the end zone where he kicked the ball out of. 2:43 now. Time to run, and not give Oakwood back the ball if you're the Mariemont Warriors. Sticking with that 2 men in the backfield. Misdirection. Handoff to Vianello. Tries the right side. Looks like we're going to have an injured lumberjack down there maybe. He gets up. I like those yellow kicks on that kid.
I know.
It's kind of sharp. A little brighter than the helmet in the uniform color, but still pretty sharp.
Drake Miller was the one who got up a little slow there. He made a great.
You see the shoes we're talking about right there.
Yep.
But there's the more importantly the play. Ball's at the 30-yard line. Loss of a couple. 2nd and 12. Approaching 2 minutes. Of course, no 2-minute warning in high school ball. Rennie's going to change the play up, come up to the line of scrimmage, and now Mariemont's going to take a timeout. Cummins gets the gets the ear of the official over on the far sideline, and burn timeout number 2 of the half. They'll be down to 1 with 1:56 remaining, but Rennie looked like he wanted to go up and change the play at the line of scrimmage, and coach said, well, maybe we ought to talk about this.
Yeah, time's on your side. Again, here's another situation. You don't want to make any big mistakes. Obviously, give Oakwood a chance to tie it up or even take the lead. With just under 2 minutes to go here. So, take your time, get everything ready, make sure you got everything on, like you said, everyone on the same page, and do what you can to bleed out the rest of this clock.
Shot of the Mariemont cheerleaders, reserves. They're cheering on the Warriors tonight. Good crowd on hand for this season opener. Good crowd tailgating out in the parking lot that I managed to disrupt with my car alarm in the pregame show. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, you're that guy.
That was me.
Yeah.
Probably going to go back to something I don't want on my car. Rennie, all kinds of time, steps up away from the pressure. He's going to tuck it and run. Advance the ball up to about the 26-yard line.
A little surprised he went for it there. I kind of figured he would just tuck it and then go down, live to do another play there on that. He was going for it. Kid's tough as nails. It's fun to watch.
Both teams with 1 timeout apiece now. do want to take a minute to thank the athletic staff here at Mariemont High School and Kuzel Stadium for welcoming us in tonight to bring you week 1 of Friday Night Football. Tom Nerl and his staff always very accommodating to us. We appreciate that. Also want to remind you to visit our website at ICRC-TV.com, ICRC-TV.com. There you will find all the activities archived that we cover day in and day out, besides football, soccer, cultural events, educational events, government events. Got this little show called the Gridiron Report. Got an extended interview with the new boss at Milford, Tom Grippa. As the Eagles make Grippa's Milford debut against the Oak Hills Highlanders tonight. So be sure to check out the Gridiron Report while you're surfing ICRCTV.com as well. 3rd and 8, Rennie hands it off. Vianello turns up field around the 25. It's going to be about 6 yards shy of the first down, so maybe a gain of 2. Clock frozen at 1:41. Last timeout taken by Oakwood. Sets up a 4th and 7. They want to get this ball back, Chris.
Yeah, it's a big play right here, too. I mean, you got a chance to go up by 10 here with, just over a minute 40 in the game. With the way special teams have gone tonight, nothing's really guaranteed. So this could be interesting. But obviously when you get a kicker with the leg that that they do, it's quite the benefit. So the way Mariemont's handled this entire drive here has been just great. They've handled everything really, really well.
It'd be a 41-yard field goal. See Hollander out. Those bright green cleats to attempt this field goal unless Coach Cummins has some trickeration in store.
Yeah, I think you're going to probably play it safe here. Go for the kick.
Hey, I would agree, but
you never know.
Be bold, right? Exactly. Be bold.
And they were bold last year.
Oakwood brings the heat. Kick's going to be off the mark. It was a little high and a little bit to the left.
Just hooked it. It was a great kick. It just unfortunately hooked it just a little too much there. And,
hey, hats off to him, though. I mean, the kicking game's always an adventure in the high school game. If you listen to me call games, you get tired of me saying that. But 41-yard attempt is normally well beyond the range of most kickers. And Coach Cummins has the faith to let his guy try it. And dang near pulled it off if they hadn't been bringing the heat the way they did.
Well, Glenn, in all seriousness, the kicking game is quite the adventure in the NFL as well. I mean, if you
look
look
now with the extra point movement, right?
So it's not, nothing's guaranteed. So there we go. We got quite an exciting minute 30 to go.
So 1:36, no timeouts and a flag. Hadn't had one of those in a while. Officials were missing the referee. False start on Oakwood, so not the way they wanted to start. They already had a tall order.
Number 3, Oakwood.
It was funny, you could just see, as soon as that flag went, the coach's heads just dropped. Yeah. It's just it's a penalty you can't afford here.
No,
this juncture.
You're trying to tie this football game, if not win it. So gotta have your head about you, and somebody did not. Pass is complete, but it's only going to go for a gain of 2 after the penalty. Have to hurry back to the line, guys. Casella makes the tackle. 1 timeout left for Mariemont. Done for Oakwood. Herbie's going to tuck it and run, but he's going to be brought down at the 20. That's going to be a loss. And the clock will continue to bleed those valuable seconds.
Charlie Coward came in on that play there and made a great tackle on the sack. Look, he just took care of his blocker, bounced off, and plugged the hole. Oh, man.
Nice completion by Irby. Gets it out to number 11, Dylan Capletti. Ball advanced to the 42-yard line. Clock stops at 53 seconds while the chains are moved. Referee puts it back in play. Clock begins. Irby, low snap, picks it up. Desperately trying to find a receiver. Finds one in the middle of the field. Complete to Jake Sargent. Down near the 40-yard line, call it the 42.
It's going to be a hold.
Penalty.
See where they're going here on this one. One side judge called a hold. Let's see where they're going to go.
And they're talking to Oakwood, not to Mariemont.
Yeah, there are bodies strewn about there on the ground, so it's obviously a defensive hold. Looks like they're going to decline it.
Clock remains
Holding.
stopped.
Mariemont. Penalties decline. First down.
Chains are moved. Once they're back in place, the referee starts the clock, which he does. Herbie, long pass, has a receiver, a little bit of a push-off. Pass is complete, and he gets out of bounds. Brendan Talarczyk with a nice job of climbing the ladder to get that football and get a little bit of separation off of the defender, Vianello.
That was impressive because there was a lot of contact on both sides, both guys fighting for the ball. Let's look here at the replay. I mean, great job to come down with that ball. Wow.
Yeah, great job. Herbie's going to go back over to the left side again. Pass is caught in the end zone for a touchdown. Holy cow.
Game.
Brendan Talarczyk.
Same matchup, Talarczyk on Vianello. Two guys who are, who had great games tonight. I'm looking at just, wow. Get both feet inbounds, too, and that was the situation on the play prior, too. So
you bring Matt Stanford out to kick the extra point, or are you bold like Coach Cummins last year and go for the win? I mean, this is deja vu.
I was just going to say that. You know what? Oh, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They're going for it. Hey, Mariemont had their turn last year. We're going to have our turn this year. Timeout taken on the field by Mariemont. Make sure they are defensively ready for this.
You know what? I love it.
Wow.
I do. I love it. I love when coaches, I love when they go for it.
It's just too much after last year. And if you're not familiar, if you missed the pregame show, last year Oakwood led by 7. Mariemont drove down the field. Wally Rennie scored on a 13-yard run. They elect to go for 2. Rennie runs it in. The Warriors escape with a 1-point win. All this happened in the last minute of the game. So here we are with 31 and a half seconds left in the game. Oakwood just drove the length of the field, and all of a sudden they got a chance to go ahead. Wow. Serendipitous, I believe, is the word I'm looking for. This is outstanding high school football.
You say serendipitous, I say wow. That's just, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Just what an incredible turn of events we've seen so far here in this last minute and 40 seconds.
So 3 yards, all that stands between Oakwood and breaking this Mariemont winning streak in this series. Herbie's going to go under center. There's a pitch.
He's in.
The 2-point conversion is good. And with 31.4 seconds, Oakwood goes ahead on a successful 2-point conversion.
Wow. What a game.
Josh Amangero finds his way into the end zone.
And you know what? Nobody was stopping him. He did a great job. Once he took that pitch, he was going. Nothing was going to stop him. You could just see him fly into the end zone for that 2-point conversion.
Wow.
Well done by Oakwood there to respond. Here's the replay of the 2-point conversion. Look at Amangero here. Nothing was going to stop him on that one. That's one heck of an effort, and you got to give him props for that. And but you know what? There's 31 seconds left, Glenn.
Well, anything could happen. We saw that last year, but man, what a fantastic comeback by these Oakwood Lumberjacks. And hats off to Coach Butch Snyder.
Yeah.
Gutsy play calling down the stretch and a gutsy decision to go for 2 to take the lead. 42-41, the Lumberjacks with the lead, 31.4 seconds remaining. Mariemont's a little dinged up. Rennie's not 100%. We've seen some other guys get up and down with injuries. Holiday at the end of the half. Vianello got a little dinged up, right? So Mariemont definitely not playing with a full tank of gas at this point, but let's see what kind of heart these Warriors have here. Trying to extend their winning streak in this series that dates back to 2014. Man, that just gives me chills. That was an awesome sequence of events there.
I was going to say, for a team that was 2-8 last year, to come off of a season like that.
Pop kick's going to be fielded over around the 16-yard line.
He gets swallowed up.
Yeah, return man tries to get out of bounds.
Oh, we got a flag.
Flag comes in.
It's going to be the unnecessary roughness, like the late hit on the tackle. Again, that's what it looks like.
Be my guess. That was Vianello, wasn't it, that fielded that? Well, the penalty flags always have to rear their ugly heads. these types of situations.
Got to stay disciplined. Have to stay disciplined in situations like this.
See what Murray Stahl has to say. Personal foul, face mask on Oakwood. He said to use that microphone so much tonight, I think the batteries finally gave out. But, yeah, so that's a big one. So a tall task for the Warriors, gets a little bit of help. The ball is going to be brought out now to the 42-yard line. It's 1st and 10 from the 42, just under 27 seconds remaining. What a great football game this has been.
This has been great. Now,
Rennie, under pressure, steps up away from it. It's going to roll over to his left side and get out of bounds to kill that clock with just under 22 seconds. So
one thing to be aware of, is you don't need a touchdown here. All you need is just to get in enough range to where, you give Hollander a chance to redeem himself after that 41-yard miss on the previous drive.
Yeah.
He can, and he's got the leg to do it. He's shown it before. So we'll see if they can at least give him another shot to redeem himself.
Got a little bit of work to do to get in position. Until then, not a bunch of time to do it. Just under 22 seconds, as you see on your screen. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom, 1 in the backfield who's going to roll out. Rennie lets it fly, has his receiver, and it's caught down inside the 40-yard line. Tight coverage, but the pass is complete down to the 37-yard line over to Charlie Coward. We've talked about him a lot tonight, Chris, and he comes up big for the Warriors there.
Connor Dinkler was going a little bit too soon on that hit there. It looked like he just kind of wanted to kind of shove Coward off a little bit, just to kind of keep him from bringing that ball in. But Coward, who's been his hands have been incredible tonight.
17 seconds. Rennie back to pass, rolls right away from the pressure. He's going to dump it off, but tick, tick, tick. No way are they going to be able to get this done in time. 7 seconds, 6. Mariemont's trying to get back to the line. 4, 3. Rennie calling for the snap. 1, and they can't get it off in time. That's a ball game.
Wow.
What a fantastic comeback by the Oakwood Lumberjacks. Or is it over? Is it really over?
Well,
the referee got the football back. That is indeed the football game. What a miraculous turn of events. Final score, Oakwood Lumberjacks 42, Mariemont Warriors 41. Mariemont won last season on last-minute heroics and turnabout's fair play. Oakwood does it to the Warriors this year, Chris.
Yeah, that was a tough game for both teams. Got to give full credit to Oakwood for storming back and making sure that they fought back in crucial times and did not let Mariemont run away with it when they had some opportunities. That's a tough loss for Mariemont here to open the season. Huge win for Oakwood to open the season as well on the other side. So hard-fought battle for both teams. Our hat goes off to both teams for just a fantastic football game in week 1.
Neither team has anything to hang their head about. That's for sure. I mean, there were some penalties. There were some sloppy plays here and there. Some injuries, which you obviously can't help other than maybe hydrating better, but just a fantastic football game by 2 evenly matched teams, 83 total points tonight. Doesn't get much closer and much more evenly matched than a 1-point win.
And you know what? We talked about it pregame that these teams were so evenly matched. Every game so far in the series has been closely contested, and this is another instance. It's 2 years in a row you get a 1-point game on a 2-point conversion. Right in the last minute.
The Oakwood Lumberjacks have a long enough ride back to Dayton tonight from here in Mariemont, but they are over celebrating with their cheerleaders, their band, and their faithful who made the journey down here to Mariemont tonight. They're going to enjoy this win. First one in the series since 2013. They're going to enjoy this one for a very long time, I think, Chris.
Yeah, this is the type of victory that can really propel a team, to a big season. So, like I said, you got to give them props for not giving up and continuing to battle hard in this game. And again, you got to give Mariemont a lot of credit. They showed a lot, and they're going to be once again a huge force, in the league.
There you see Brian Irby right there, number 12, the quarterback. Our Josh Simstrat's going to catch up with him, and we're going to get his thoughts at the end of the game here. Just an outstanding game by that young man from that quarterback position, and valuable senior leadership and decision-making tonight. So very excited for him, and very excited for that Oakwood Lumberjacks program. So let's send it down to Josh Simstrat on the sideline.
Guys, I'm here with senior quarterback Brian Irby. Brian, tell me about that last drive and that winning.
Oh man, our defense got a great stop, and that's what enabled us. Receivers went up, made great plays. Line gave me enough time, baby.
All right, congratulations on the win. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thanks, and glad we're able to remember you this time. Great job, and make sure you tell Brian congratulations for us. So, Chris, any parting thoughts before we call tonight and get out of here?
Nothing much that I've said already. I mean, just a great football game. For this being week one in the state of Ohio, just a great football game. We saw a lot. It's kind of prototypical of what you're going to see in early season. A lot of penalties, a lot of points. Both teams faced adversity. Both teams overcame adversity, and it came down to one extra play being made on the side of Oakwood, and they're heading back up to Dayton with a big victory on the road.
Plenty of highlights here on the screen being brought by Jason Dudley and our crew out in the truck. Just Dylan Capletti, number 11, had a heck of a game. We called his number a lot. There was Connor Dinkler with a pass completion. Back to Mariemont, there's Wally Rennie with a touchdown pass over on the right side, down in the far end zone. Just a very exciting contest. There's another long pass. It's going to be brought in that time by Charlie Cowart, senior. We talked about him a lot tonight. And there's Josh Amangero running in. Another long pass down. So, just all kinds of action tonight here. We were pleased to be bringing it to you on ICRC-TV Friday Night Football. What a way to start the 2017 season. And there you're going to see the dagger as Amangero converts the extra point attempt to go to the win. So we're going to sit it down to Josh Simstrat one more time with Butch Snyder.
Here with Coach Snyder. Coach, last year they got you on the 2-point conversion for the win. How's it feel to turn the tables?
That was a wild one, I can tell you that. I told my guys, if you keep doing that to me, I'm gonna die of a young age. But it was exciting. It was, we were able to turn the tables. But that's a good football team over there. In the end, we made a couple stops that we needed to get, and our offense went down and scored. And the heart and the effort and stuff that these guys display on a daily basis, I'm proud of.
What do you got to say about your senior quarterback, Brian Irby, on that last drive?
Oh, Brian's a tough kid. I mean, he's tough. He's a smart kid. He got beat around a few times in there, but he showed that iron will at the end of the game and stepped in there and made some nice throws for us and did some nice things for us that we needed.
All right, guys, Coach, congrats on the road win. Glenn, Chris, will send it back up to you from Mariemont High School.